Chapter 101. World Championship Threshold. Snort. Seeing that almost everyone at the scene was praising Wang Lu, Yan Feng's face darkened, and he couldn't help but let out a cold snort. A bunch of idiots. My grandpa is going to use the main Pokémon next, so just keep your eyes open, I'm sure you can beat the shit out of that kid. Yan Feng thought to himself. It can be seen from this that he really likes his grandfather very much, almost to the point of blind worship. His grandpa really hasn't used the main Pokémon yet. However, he didn't think about it. Wang Lu didn't use it either, and the trump card, Salamence, and fighting Zapdos on Wang Lu's face have not been used yet. Little brother, your strength is indeed very strong, but my old man's strength is not weak. Next, I have to get serious. Go, Aerodactyl! Yan Gang's third Pokémon, sent Aerodactyl to play. Aerodactyl. Attribute, Rock plus Flying. Level 68, Master. Qualification, Orange. Looking at Aerodactyl, Wang Lu smiled slightly, still using Kingler to fight. To be honest, Wang Lu never thought about cultivating this totem Kingler well, let alone as a main Pokémon. He just wants to keep it as a pet at home. It's also a totem Pokémon anyway. It's interesting to keep such a big crab, isn't it? Even Wang Lu decided long ago to send it to his parents tonight. But I never thought it would come in handy now. This old man Yan Gang, 04 is the owner of the dual-type rock plus steel department, not to mention the steel department, at least against the rock department, Kingler still has a great advantage. First strike. Kingler, use Bubble Beam. Wang Lu gave an order. For Kingler, it may not be possible to continuously cast the big move of Hydro Pump. But continuous instant Bubble Beam, there is no pressure at all. Bang bang bang! I saw. Kingler opened his big pincers, and instantly released a series of bubble beams, continuously blasting towards the Aerodactyl in the air. Only Aerodactyl's speed is very fast, like dancing normal, avoiding all those bubble beams. Good job, Aerodactyl! For the perfect performance of Aerodactyl, Yan Gang smiled proudly, use Stone Edge. Heard the words. Aerodactyl began to condense fighting-type energy, and in an instant, sharp stones appeared around its tail. However, bang! The moment Aerodactyl released Stone Edge and froze, Kingler unexpectedly bombarded him. That powerful force directly sent Aerodactyl flying, and the release of Stone Edge also failed accordingly. What? Yan Gang was taken aback, and looked towards Kingler in a daze. And this time, Kingler had the upper hand. He didn't pay attention to Aerodactyl at all, and looked at Yan Gang proudly, holding the big pliers constantly, making a clang, clang, clang sound. That look is really enough power trip, and it is full of taunt. Damn, that stinky Kingler! Sure enough, Yan Feng was furious. However, at Yan Gang's age, it is impossible to care about this kind of thing, but he couldn't help but laugh. At the same time, he looked at Kingler with admiration. He never expected that this Kingler would be so good at seizing opportunities. It looked like a king of fighters. If he hadn't experienced hundreds of battles, or even richer combat experience, he would definitely not be able to do this kind of thing. And he has very good eyesight, and he can tell at a glance that Wang Lu's Kingler is a totem of the master level. Its strength and state are much stronger than the totem Golem and totem Steelix he just subdued. Thinking of this, he admired Wang Lu even more. Little Arnold is a young man who is also a quasi-god of Flash and belongs to Zapdos, and now he has subdued such a powerful and potential totem Kingler, who is a formidable young man. Looking at Wang Lu, Yan Gang was amazed in his heart. From his perspective, it is impossible to estimate Wang Lu's future, so he can only be described as fearsome after a young age. But he didn't know, all he knew was Wang Lu's superficial strength. And Wang Lu's true strength is far beyond his imagination. Woo! Aerodactyl flew up soaring in the sky again. This time, it already had very obvious scars on its body. Kingler is a totem Pokémon, and its attack power is not weak. Moreover, water restrains rock, the effect is outstanding, double damage. Aerodactyl will naturally be a little unbearable. But this Aerodactyl is worthy of being Yan Gang's main Pokémon. It is well trained. Even though it is seriously injured, its momentum has not declined in the slightest. Very good. Seeing that Aerodactyl has regained its momentum, Yan Gang nodded and smiled, waving his hands and shouting, Aerodactyl, use crunch. As soon as he finished speaking, Aerodactyl suddenly jumped out, violent evil energy surged from the sharp teeth, and bit Kingler fiercely. Crab punch! Wang Lu gave an order, and Kingler's huge left pincer suddenly emitted a very dazzling white light. It punched out, carrying an incomparably huge energy, and ruthlessly blasted towards Aerodactyl's mouth. Kingler's crab punch and Aerodactyl's crunch collided suddenly, causing a huge explosion and a cloud of smoke and dust. A wave of air was set off, like a shock wave normal, sweeping towards all directions. Wang Lu and Yan Gang, the owner of the house, couldn't help but stretch out their hands to block this. The audience from all directions were also shocked, as expected of a battle at the master level. Good. All the audience believed that Wang Lu possessed the level of the owner level, even above the level of the owner level. The smoke will dissipate soon. Kingler's huge figure was revealed first. It looks, alright, is going left and right, up and down, Baba's challenge power trips crab dance. On the other hand, Aerodactyl has fallen to the ground completely obsessed with the past. So strong. That totem Kingler is really strong. It's true, it's been 3 times in one wear, and it doesn't seem to be injured much, the strength is a bit outrageous. Ah, my little brother is really amazing, I love it, and I have an overwhelming advantage against a powerful gym master. Strong. Strong and invincible. As Kingler wears 3, the audience from all directions immediately praised Wang Lu and Kingler. Snort. Yan Feng snorted coldly, feeling bad in his heart. Now he just hoped that Grandpa would quickly regain the advantage, so that all these annoying guys would shut up. Thank you, Aerodactyl. Yan Gang took Aerodactyl back, gave a comfort, and then sent out the 4th Pokémon. His Pokémon, among all Steel-type Pokémon, has a symbolic meaning, Agrin. Agrin. Attribute, Rock plus Steel. Level 70, Quasi-Elite. Qualification, Orange. Is the 4th one a quasi-elite? It seems that even if he is also the owner of the museum, the strength of this old man Yan Gang is far superior to Wang Xianai's father. Glancing at Agrin's attribute panel, Wang Lu secretly praised it. But no matter how strong Yan Gang is, he is only an ordinary museum owner, not a senior museum owner. In the huge southern region, there are only 2 senior pavilion owners in total, and their strength is not small, and it is not much worse than the active elite. You know, if you want to participate in the Pokémon World Championships, you must obtain at least 2 senior school master badges in each of the 4 countries of Xia, Bangzi, Fist, and Sakura. And there must be at least 10 senior owner badges to qualify for the competition. World Championships, such a high-profile, high-level competition. Looking at the whole world, there are few trainers who can participate in it, and each of them is a dragon and a phoenix among people. As long as you participate in it, even a round trip, for many people, it is enough to show off. And the 2 senior pavilion owners of the southern region are not only the face of the south region, but also the face of the entire Xia kingdom. So it is conceivable. With such a card, how can a normal person be competent? There are only a few senior pavilion masters 540 in the entire Xia kingdom, and they are basically retired old elite. In comparison, Yan Gang and Wang Zhong are really far behind. Kill it in one fell swoop, Kingler, with a hydro pump attack. Following Wang Lu's order, Kingler immediately released a high-pressure hydro pump, blasting fiercely towards the opposite Agrin. Faced with Wang Lu's attack, Yan Gang shouted at Agrin, Autotomize, avoid the attack. At this moment, a metallic light flashed across Agrin's body, and then, its speed became extremely fast, avoiding Kingler's hydro pump attack all at once. Autotomize is to significantly reduce weight, thereby greatly increasing speed. It's like throwing away a sandbag that has been tied for several years, and you will naturally feel as light as a swallow. After Autotomize, Agrin, no longer bulky, has become a high-sensitivity Pokémon. But Agrin has a signature skill, Heavy Impact. This skill, the heavier it is than the opponent, the greater its power. But after Agrin undergoes Autotomize, the weight is not as terrible as before. Moreover, Wang Lu's Kingler is a totem Pokémon, and his weight should not be underestimated. Put it all together. Today, Agrin uses a Heavy Impact, I'm afraid it doesn't have much power. Agrin, use Heavy Impact. Yan Gang ordered. Heard the words. Agrin's body flashed with golden light, and with a strong aura, he slammed into the opposite Kingler like lightning. Not good. Wang Lu was shocked. After autotomize, the power of the heavy impact will definitely be weakened, and it will be weakened a lot. Yan Gang is the majestic owner, and he is also the owner of the steel department. It is almost impossible for him to make such a command error. In other words, right now, Agrin's heavy impact is still very powerful. Then, there is only one possibility. Yan Gang's Agrin has Monter, that is, hidden ability, Heavy Metal. Heavy Metal, the ability Pokémon doubles its weight. Chapter 102. Totem Blastoise vs Banjira. Heavy Metal abilities Agrin. Wang Lu felt a chill in his heart. A Pokémon with the Heavy Metal ability doubles its weight. And Agrin itself is a heavyweight Pokémon. If its body structure is not ordinary metal, but heavy metal, it will be even more terrifying. Even after autotomize, its weight is still terrible, at least half a ton. Compared with the heavy metal Agrin, although Wang Lu's Kingler is a totem Pokémon, its weight is estimated to be only about 100 kilograms. The gap between this is more than 5 times. Because of this, if Agrin's heavy impact hits Kingler, the damage will be fully increased. More importantly, after being autotomized, Agrin's speed skyrocketed. Its heavy impact was even hard for Kingler to dodge. In that case, Kingler, use the most powerful crab punch. At this point, Wang Lu has no other better choice, so he just chooses to be tough. Boom! The two behemoths each used their strongest skills and collided suddenly. For a moment, smoke and dust burst out. When the smoke and dust dispersed, Kingler and Agrin were seen falling to the ground at the same time, both of them having lost the ability to fight. Is it a tie? Looking at the scene in front of him, Yan Gang was somewhat surprised. After all, that Agrin was considered his very powerful main Pokémon, and it had already reached the Quasi-Elite level. Although it is only the early stage of Quasi-Elite, it is still Quasi-Elite. And that Kingler is only at the gym leader level. There is still quite a gap between them. Sure enough, Totem's bloodline and genes are extraordinary, far beyond what a normal Pokémon can compare to. Yan Gang secretly praised it in his heart. Although he was praising Kingler, he was also very happy because he had tamed 2 totem today. When those 2 totems grow up, I believe they can replace Agrin and Aerodactyl, giving him a total of 4 trump cards, and his strength will be even higher. So far, Wang Lu lost 1 Pokémon, while Yan Gang had already lost 4 Pokémon. Damn Kingler! He actually defeated Grandpa's 4 Pokémon. Yan Feng felt angry. However, the next 2 are Grandpa's most powerful trump cards. That kid's Pokémon is definitely not my Grandpa's rival. Thinking like this, Yan Feng sneered again. Old man, I'll leave it to you next, go ahead, Banjira. At this time, Yan Gang finally sent out the 5th Pokémon. Desert Tyrant, Banjira. Banjira. Attribute, Rock plus Evil. Level 75, Quasi-Elite. Qualification, Light Gold. Damn, Quasi-God Banjira. As expected of the owner's trump card Pokémon, it is indeed no ordinary character. With the appearance of Bangala, the audience was instantly shocked. You know, Quasi-God is not inferior to Totem in terms of strength or rarity. Yan Gang sent Bangala at this time. Such a powerful and rare Pokémon was naturally shocking. Glancing at Banjira's attribute panel, Wang Lu nodded secretly. There is no doubt that this Banjira is very powerful. But Wang Lu didn't care either. After all, he still had 5 Pokémon left and plenty of room for choice. He didn't hesitate and sent Blastoise directly. Kami! Blastoise roared loudly as soon as it appeared on the scene, with great momentum. Even though Banjira was famous in the past, its appearance still shocked the audience everywhere. Holy shit, Totem Blastoise! It's Totem again! Moreover, this momentum seems to be stronger than the previous Kingler. Tisk, 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 this guy is invincible. Zapdos, Flash Salamence, Totem Blastoise, Totem Kingler, as this lineup grows, who can withstand it? Awesome, he deserves to be the one who can overpower the conference owner. If he doesn't come to this year's Southern Alliance conference, I won't watch it. 666. On the field, Yan Gang waved his hand and suddenly attacked, Banjira, Stone Edge. After speaking, Bangala slammed the ground with both hands, and the overwhelming power caused the originally intact ground to explode immediately. At the same time, sharp energy boulders suddenly emerged from the ground and rushed straight towards Blastoise on the opposite side. Good. The same skill, different Pokémon's performance, display method and power will be different. And the stone edge of Bangala in front of me is extremely powerful. Iron defense. Wang Lu gave an order. In an instant, a metallic light flashed across Blastoise's body, and its physical defense was greatly improved. Bang! Bangala's stone edge hit Blastoise hard and exploded, followed by smoke and dust. 2. When the smoke cleared, the Blastoise was still almost intact. What a terrible defense! Yan Gang, including everyone present, couldn't help being surprised. Good. Even if they are both totem and have the same qualifications, there is still a slight difference in bloodline strength. There is no doubt that this totem Blastoise is stronger than the previous totem Kingler. At least the defense is stronger. In that case, Bangala, use Thunder Punch. As soon as Yan Gang finished speaking, Bangala immediately jumped out like a beast, his fist flashed through thunder and lightning, and with a Thunder Punch, he hit Blastoise fiercely. After Iron Defense, Rapid Spin. Wang Lu gave an order. Blastoise used Iron Defense again. At this moment, its physical defense has more than doubled compared to the beginning. The muscle tissue all over the body, including the turtle shell on the back, has become extremely hard. At the same time, Blastoise retracted the tortoise shell in an instant, and started the rapid spin, like an Audiobooks top normal, not only easily blocked Bangala's Thunder Punch, but the powerful force even knocked Bangala back suddenly. I saw Bangala taking 4 or 5 steps back before he could stand firm. Now, use Hydro Pump. Wang Lu ordered again. Heard the words. Blastoise stopped spinning instantly and fired 2 high-pressure hydro pumps from the 2 cannons behind it. Hydro Pump suddenly blasted out, and under Bangala's shocked eyes, he knocked it back again. I saw Bangala's face full of pain, and he stepped back dozens of steps, ploughing 2 deep ravines on the ground with the soles of his feet. When Bangala stood firm again, he seemed to be injured all over his body. This is because the effect of water rock and hydro pump is outstanding, causing huge damage to it in a short time. However, the strange thing is, it was seriously injured, but its momentum did not weaken at all. Instead, it grew taller again. This is the quasi-god in the quasi-elite realm, so terrifying. So strong. Blastoise, Bangala, both are so strong. Seeing the scene in front of them, spectators from all directions were shocked. In terms of hard power, Blastoise is not as good as Bangala, and there is still a big gap. However, under Wang Lu's command, Blastoise actually gained the upper hand. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would never believe it. At this time, Mirong Shui took a deep look at Wang Lu and was shocked in her heart. What a powerful rapid spin, what a powerful defensive method. At this time, Yan Gang also felt the pressure. Suddenly, he had a flash of inspiration and shouted, Bangala, encore, use Thunder Punch. Facing Yan Gang's attack, Wang Lu secretly smiled and said, it will be the same a few more times, Blastoise, Iron Defense plus Rapid Spin. Triple Iron Defense. I saw that Blastoise's body flashed with an Audiobooks-like luster, as if normal was printed on it, lasting forever. At this time, its physical defense has doubled compared to the beginning. Rapid Spin also becomes more terrifying. At this time, Yan Gang suddenly shouted, now, Bangala, attack the ground at the feet of Blastoise. Bangala punched out, and with a bang sound, the powerful power directly exploded the ground. Blastoise, even for a totem Pokémon, has an unimaginable weight. At this time, he was also lifted up by that powerful force. And in the mid-air, Blastoise lost its fulcrum and was unable to rotate. I saw its head and limbs sticking out of the turtle shell, and for a moment, I was a little confused. What a show! This move has the same effect as Kingler's previous use of Hydro Pump to attack the corner, causing Golem's rollout to deviate from the track. There were shouts of surprise all around. Destroy the Death Ray! Yan Gang gave an order, and Bangala fired out a cannon. The violent power directly killed the swordfish instantly. Destroying the Death Ray is a special attack. Even though Blastoise had doubled his physical defense several times through Iron Defense, it was useless at this time. Yan Gang smiled and said, little brother, how do I think of this trick? But I still learned it from you. Good job. Yan Gang's words were full of admiration for Wang Lu. In response, Wang Lu just smiled and sent out the third Pokémon, Big Red, prepare to fight. Big Red. Yan Gang and the audience were all stunned, wondering why Wang Lu gave Zapdos such a name. Wouldn't it be better to just call it Zapdos? I'm afraid they won't even think of it. Wang Lu has another Zapdos. At this time, Banjira experienced a fierce battle with Blastoise. Not only was it injured all over its body, but it was also panting now, and it was obvious that its physical strength was exhausted. After all, it is the hydro pump that has withstood Totem Blastoise's one shot, which has an outstanding effect. Totem, the effect is outstanding, this alone is better. When the two are superimposed together, the power is naturally terrifying. Before your illness kills you, Wang Lu strikes first, Dahong, use Brick Break. I saw white light flashing across the right wing of Big Red, and his figure turned into a red after image. In just one breath, he had already crossed a distance of more than 10 meters, and killed Bangala with a single blow. Fighting defeats rock, defeats evil, quadruples the damage, and the effect is mega. Poor Banjira didn't even have time to react before he collapsed. Deaf. Looking at Dahong's performance, the audience was shocked, and the sound of gasping for air resounded. Chapter 103. Witness the legend, kill Metagross with one kick. As Banjira fell, Yan Gang seems to have lost 5 Pokémon, leaving only the last one. At this time, Yan Gang's expression was extremely solemn. Grandfather. At this time, Zhai Feng was also extremely nervous. As his grandpa Yan Gang's Pokémon fell more and more, the confident expression on his face became less and less. Now, there is only the last one left of the grandfather he adores. But on the opposite side of Wang Lu, there are still 4 left. The gap between them is really too big. More importantly, at the moment Wang Lu is on the field, or Zapdos, the legendary Zapdos. Even though he is only 10 years old and not a trainer at all, he still knows the power of legends. Yan Gang took a deep breath, calmed down, and finally dispatched his last Pokémon. Metagross. Quasi-God again, Orberg Quasi-God, Metagross. Metagross. Attribute, Psychic plus Steel. Level 76, Quasi-Elite. Qualification, Light Gold. Meta. As soon as Metagross came out, he let out a steady cry. Its formidable strength makes it even in the face of legends, without the slightest timidity. Nice Pokémon, 833. Glancing at the attribute panel of Metagross, Wang Lu smiled slightly, but he was also full of confidence in Dahong. First strike, Dahong, use Thunderous Kick. As soon as the words fell, Dahong turned into a red afterimage, moved forward like lightning, and kicked Metagross fiercely, causing Metagross to scream and suffer heavy losses. Thunderous Kick. Yan Gang was taken aback. The audience from all directions were also taken aback. What kind of skill is that? So fast. It's not their fault. It's really because Zapdos are too rare as legends, and fighting Zapdos like Big Red are even rarer. Many people don't even know they exist. Even knowledgeable people, who know their existence, know little about them, and they know that they are fighting type Pokémon. Only a few people know about its exclusive skill Thunderous Kick. In fact, maybe no one except Wang Lu knows about it. Pursue victory. Use Thunderous Kick. Wang Lu ordered again. Heard the words. Dahong suddenly rushed out and attacked Metagross again. Will the same attack succeed again? Aee. Yan Gang's eyes narrowed and he shouted, Metagross, use mental strength. Finished talking. Metagross's eyes emitted a terrifying scarlet light, and at the same time released an extremely powerful confusion to control Dahong. For a while, it made it difficult for Dahong to move an inch. Very good. Yan Gang smiled, his blood boiling unknowingly, and he shouted, throw it out like this. Wang Lu also ordered, bulk up, forcefully break free. Clang. Dahong shouted loudly and suddenly flexed his muscles. In an instant, golden light flashed all over his body, and his strength, momentum, and defense all skyrocketed. Immediately afterwards, Dahong suddenly exerted his strength, and with a bang sound, it seemed as if he broke away from an invisible shackles and regained his freedom instantly. Hiss, what a powerful force! Looking at the scene in front of him, Xiao Gang was shocked. You know, Psychic Conti fighting type, using Psychic to control fighting, it can be said to be almost easy. But unexpectedly, Zapdos broke away easily. Is that the legendary beast and the legendary power? His audiences from all directions were also shocked. Legend. They actually saw the legendary power with their own eyes. What a blessing this is! Thunderous kick. De Hong rushed out again like lightning, flew up and kicked Metagross hard again. There was a loud bang, and Metagross flew out like a cannonball normal, plowing out a long wave of air in mid-air. When it stopped, its whole body was covered with scars, and it was gasping for breath while falling downwards. Finally, with a bang sound, it fell to the ground and passed out completely. What? Yan Gang's whole body was shaken. His blood was boiling just now, and before he could use it, Metagross was already instantly killed. Thunderous kick, what the hell is that skill? Why is there such a big gap? The power of the first time and the second time are completely different. Could it be that it has a strong defense-breaking effect? The owner is worthy of being the owner. In an instant, Yan Gang had figured out the basics of Thunderous Kick. However, he realized now that it was too late. With the fall of Metagross, he was defeated. What a terrible Zapdos! Legendary power! Damn it, the Japanese accent instantly kills the most powerful trump card. Is this the legendary power? I love it. The power of Zapdos is so terrifying. With Zapdos, after 1 or 2 years, this guy will be a legendary trainer. The rise of a great nation. Little brother is so handsome, look at me, look at me. Little brother, I love you so much. I want to give birth to monkeys for you. Give birth to many, many monkeys. The surrounding audience was shocked. Countless fans screamed like crazy. Even Yan Feng was stunned. He has always thought that his grandfather was the invincible being. Unexpectedly, he was actually crushed. And that person actually owns the legendary Pokémon. Isn't that so cool? All of a sudden, Yan Feng felt that there was nothing unacceptable about his grandfather's defeat. After all, the eldest brother had a legend, was too strong, and was too handsome. It would be great if I could be as awesome as that big brother when I grow up. At this time, Yan Feng looked at Wang Lu again, his eyes filled with admiration, as if he had become Wang Lu's little lost brother. What a terrifying thunderous kick! Although Big Red is not good at flying, its superb fighting skills and instant explosive power are far behind Primal Zapdos. Mirong Shui was shocked. Until now, she can't believe that Wang Lu actually conquered the legendary fighting Zapdos. For a moment, she felt that the gap between herself and Wang Lu was getting wider and wider. Brother Wang Lu is so awesome, De Hong is so awesome, they are amazing. Looking at the heroic figures of Wang Lu and De Hong on the field, Wang Xianai was like a fangirl, normal, and was deeply fascinated by them. Cao Lai was the only one in the audience. He looked at the shocked audience around him with deep disdain. Stiz. Are you just going to be shocked like this? What if you knew that my boss also has a primal Zapdos and a Celebi? What would you do? Little brother, your strength is very strong, and your potential is something I have only seen in my life. I believe that in 3 to 5 years, you will definitely be able to enter the world-class stage and win glory for our real country. Yan Gang came over, held Wang Lu's hands, and said excitedly. Chapter 104. In 3 to 5 years. Wang Lu smiled slightly. It's only been a week or two, and I've reached this point. After 3 to 5 years, let alone a world-class stage. The whole world, the universe in all directions, will tremble because of me. Seeing Wang Lu dismissively, Zhigang was even more excited. This shows that he still underestimated Wang. At this moment, in his opinion, Wang Lu may still be hiding his strength. If that's the case, maybe it won't take 3 to 5 years. I'm afraid that after 1 or 2 years, Wang Lu will be able to gallop on the world-class stage. Okay, the next generation is to be feared, the next generation is to be feared. Yan Gang was very happy. As the owner of Xiaoguo Daoguan, he is of course happy to have Xiaoguo's son rise up. Immediately afterwards, he handed over a gym badge of the Panxi Gym and a gym master badge to Wang Lu. After all, Wang Lu even defeated him as the owner of the gymnasium, so it is understandable to give him the badge of the next level gymnasium. End. If Wang Lu wants to participate in this year's Southern Region Alliance Conference, the badge of this hall is more useful than the badge of the owner. After all, if you want to participate in the Southern Region Alliance Conference, you only need to collect the badges of the 8 gymnasiums in the Southern Region. If you have to use the badge of the owner of the gymnasium instead, the inspectors may not know it, and the inspection machines may not be able to recognize it. The game ended and the crowd gradually dispersed. At the beginning, there were still young ladies who came here hoping to have a photo with Wang Lu and De Hong, but after being rejected by Wang Lu indifferently, gradually, no one dared to come. When Mirong Shui saw it, she was inexplicably happy in her heart, but she said, "Such a beautiful big sister, do you have the heart to refuse?" "Pretty? I don't think she's as good looking as you," Wang Lu said lightly. But he didn't realize that his simple sentence made Mirong Shui blush for a long time. The time came to noon. Wang Lu and the others left in no hurry, sat on the ground, started camping, and prepared lunch. Yan Gang, Yan Feng's grandfather and grandson also joined in. Yan Gang learned of Mirong Shui's identity during the chat, and exclaimed, "It turned out to be Miss Mirong, sorry for my poor eyesight, I didn't recognize it at the first time. I've heard for a long time that Ms. Mirong is very talented, but seeing her today, she really has extraordinary bearing." Mirong Shui was very shy, and said repeatedly, "Senior praised you, compared to senior, the little girl is just a fledgling under the eagle's feet, that's all." "Why?" Yan Gang waved his hands again and again, saying, "You walk side by side with this little brother Wang Lu, but your strength is unfathomable." Afterwards, his eyes turned to Wang Xianai. He knew Wang Xianai, and seemed to be very familiar with him, and said, "Xianai, if you have the opportunity in the future, you should learn from little brother Wang Lu more. Use it for a lifetime." Wang Xianai nodded again and again, as long as she learns from brother Wang Lu, her own strength will eventually become very strong. She is convinced of this. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Wang Lu and his party came to a forest. This forest also belongs to the core area of Lingyun's secret realm, with luxuriant branches and leaves, and sweet resin even overflows from the big trees. This is a great addition to the bug-type Pokémon. But this lush forest is occupied by Pinsir's group. There are only Pinsir and no other Pokémon. Pinsir is too strong. He is naturally strong without evolving. Therefore, the Pinsir group is very powerful, and the normal group would never dare to provoke them. For example, the Venusaur group. Venusaur is certainly powerful, even more powerful than Pinsir, but what about Ivysaur and Bulbasaur? Compared with Pinsir, Ivysaur and Bulbasaur are undoubtedly much inferior. Therefore, the Pinsir occupied this entire leafy forest and enjoyed all the resources they could see. Each one of them grew fatter and stronger, becoming more and more powerful. There are also many trainers in this forest, and it is obvious that they also want to tame a Pinsir. After all, Pokémon like Pinsir is really strong, and with the right breeder, it will grow very fast. In this forest, Wang Lu marked 3 targets through the wave guide. In other words, there are 3 special Pinsir in this forest, either Flash or Totem. Maybe even Flash Totem Pinsir. If there really is a Pinsir of that level, Wang Lu will definitely conquer him and train him with all his strength. At this time, Wang Lu and his group stopped in front of a big tree. I saw rich resin overflowing from the trunk of this big tree. At this time, there were nearly 10 Pinsir lying on it, greedily sucking the resin. Wang Lu scanned attentively. Pinsir, Orange Selection, Level 65, Hall Owner. Pinsir, Purple Elite, Level 52, Elite. Pinsir, Purple Elite, Level 48, Elite. Pinsir, Orange Selection, Level 25, Advanced. Pinsir, Purple Elite, Level 20, Advanced. Pinsir, Purple Elite, Level 46, Elite. There are 10 Pinsir, some big and some small. The little one should be just born, and the level is not high. 4 oranges and 6 purples, all are high-level qualifications. Blue and below are not at all. The environment in the secret realm is so superior. As Pokémon are reproduced from generation to generation, even the genes will be upgraded, and the children born will be extremely strong. Not to mention, this leafy forest is one of the areas with the best environment in the secret realm. Cao Lai, if you want, grab the little one on the left. Pinsir is no better than Squirtle, they are born stronger and do not evolve. The strongest pincer here is even more powerful than the Blastoise from the Blastoise tribe. If Cao Lai were to choose, it would probably challenge the strongest and largest gym leader. In order to avoid unnecessary trouble, Wang Lu gave a reminder. Come out, Chao Yang Pig. Cao Lai immediately sent Chao Yang Pig out. Although he conquered Nidoran male sign, Nidoran female sign, Squirtle this morning, and Guedud during lunch, all with blue qualifications, the potential is quite good. But potential is just potential, not combat power. At least for now, Chao Yang Pig is still his strongest trump card, not to mention that facing bug-type pincer, Chao Yang Pig still has a huge advantage in attribute. As if feeling the disgusting breath of fire, the pincer instantly woke up and became restless. Led by the strongest pincer, the 10 pincer jumped down from the tree in an instant, staring coldly at the Chao Yang Pig, constantly opening and closing the iron horns above their heads, making a metallic screech sound. This is Chiguaquo's threat, and it works very well. In an instant, Chao Yang Pig disappeared from the spot and hid behind Cao Lai, trembling unbearably. Seeing this, Wang Lu directly sent De Hong, who shouted Clang, and the pressure from the blood race instantly shocked the group of pincer, and they ran away with urine on their butts. Wang Lu said continuously, Cao Lai, seize the opportunity quickly. Cao Lai nodded suddenly and quickly gave orders to Chao Yang Pig. Chao Yang Pig fired flamethrower and accurately hit the young pincer with orange qualifications. However, it had no effect. The difference in qualifications is really too big. Chapter 105. Chase. Wang Lu made the decision directly for Cao Lai. That young pincer has orange qualifications. If it is conquered, Cao Lai's strength will be qualitatively improved. Cao Lai and Chao Yangzhu decisively pursued him. Wang Lu took De Hong, and Mirong Shui and Wang Xianai followed closely. Under De Hong's pressure, the group of pincer just ran away and did not dare to fight back. Chased for several minutes. Period. Chao Yang Pig used flamethrower and directly hit the young pincer no less than 5 times before finally knocking it down. Cao Lai successfully subdued him and immediately beamed with joy. At the same time, deep in this forest, the pincer tribe rioted due to harassment by a large number of trainers. Pincer is a Pokémon with a vicious temperament and a hot temper. It will even attack humans when it sees it. Now that they are harassed by humans, they are undoubtedly more angry, so they act in an organized and disciplined manner. The densely packed pincer formed several rows, like angry war horses, attacking the human trainer. Even if the human trainers escaped, they would still pursue them relentlessly. There are even 3 pincer, and their aura is extremely terrifying. One is a golden pincer, undoubtedly a flash pincer. The other 2 are extremely huge, with a body length of more than 250 centimeters. There is no doubt that they are totem pincer. Flash pincer, golden epic, level 70 elite. Totem pincer, golden epic, level 68 gym owner. Totem pincer, golden epic, level 68 gym owner. Such a rare and powerful pincer, 3 of them appear at once. This situation can be called Mew. However, the group of more than a dozen human trainers, male or female, who were being chased madly by pincer. At this time, there was no surprise in their eyes, only fear and despair. If they don't do it right, they may die here today. The secret realm is like this, opportunities come with risks. In the Xia Kingdom, almost every year some trainers die or become disabled in the secret realm. This kind of thing happens all the time. Of course, similar situations will certainly occur in overseas countries. Help! Help! When they thought that they might die here, these dozen trainers burst into tears and began to cry frantically for help. Wang Lu possesses a waveguide and has extraordinary 5 senses. Although he is far away, Wang Lu also vaguely hears some movements. So, he quickly greeted everyone and quickly ran towards the depths of the forest. Not long after, the group of desperate trainers and the violent pincer encountered each other head-on. "Help me, boss, help me!" After seeing Wang Lu and his team, the dozen or so trainers almost cried with joy and shouted for help. If other people had come, they might not be so excited, but Wang Lu was different. Of course they know Wang Lu, the legendary trainer who possesses Flash Salamence and conquered the legendary Zapdos. In such a dangerous situation, if there is anyone in this secret realm who can save them, then that person is none other than the bandit leader Lu. Clang! Facing the violent group of pincers, De Hong immediately sent out a sharp growl. It was very powerful and had the power of legend. Unfortunately, it was still unable to deter the group of pincers. There are too many. Not to mention, there are 3 leaders among the group of pincers. Salamence, it's you who decides. Wang Lu directly sent Salamence out, and he was the only one in this situation. At the same time, Mirong Shui also released his trump card, Duolong Barto. Flamethrower. Dragon Wave. Wang Lu and Mirong Shui gave orders successively. I saw. Salamence flew up, opened his mouth and sprayed out an extremely huge wave of crimson fire, like burning the sky and boiling the sea, drowning all the pincers in an instant. That power, that domineering force, was extremely terrifying. Compared to the attack range of Barto's dragon breath is too small, but it still explodes in flames, causing a lot of damage to the pincer group. When the flames dissipated, it was seen that almost all the pincer were killed. Of course, they are basically all instantly killed by Salamenke's flamethrower. Even if it works, it's just last hit, just the icing on the cake. Go, Pokémon Ball! Wang Lu threw 3 luxury balls at once to capture all 3 special pincers. Boss, and this girl, thank you so much. If it weren't for you, we might be really cold. Thank you. Little brother and sister, I will always bless you. I hope you will be safe and happy throughout your life. After being rescued, the group of people came over quickly and thanked Wang Lu and Mirong Shui repeatedly. With such respectful gestures, they wanted to kneel down and kowtow to them. Wang Lu waved his hand with an indifferent expression. He saved these people just out of his own heart, because we are all compatriots of the Xia Kingdom, so he did not express his gratitude. But for his noble attitude, everyone was extremely grateful. They didn't leave quickly until Wang Lu showed impatience. The opportunity to conquer pincer was clearly right in front of them, but they were so frightened that they didn't even dare to take a second look. If I see pincer again in the future, I might activate the shadow of today. Not long after, De Hong came back with the 3 luxury balls in his mouth. It has great respect for Wang Lu's Salamence. Even bosses like Salamence obey their master, which shows that the master is awesome. Thinking of this, it obeyed Wang Lu even more. Wang Lu took the 3 luxury balls, looked at Mirong Shui and said, Axe you are also helping this time, do you want to pick one? Hearing this, Mirong Shui shook her head and said, I don't like pincer, bug-type Pokémon, I don't like them very much. Wang Xianai seemed to have found a confidant and nodded repeatedly, I am also 0.8. Are you all misty? Wang Lu smiled in his heart, but he didn't force it. 3 is 3. Wouldn't it be nice to keep them at home, in your parents' laboratory? As for Breeder himself, Wang Lu really doesn't have much interest, his qualifications are still too low, he's just a golden epic. As his strength increases, Wang Lu's vision becomes higher and higher, and he becomes more and more picky. Except for those he particularly likes, such as Haxorus, he will breeder himself. The rest must at least be golden legends to be eye-catching. His thoughts are undoubtedly dangerous. If outsiders find out, I'm afraid they will die of pain. Damn, golden epic, don't you even look down on it. Chapter 106. Big Red Totem Blastoise, Totem Kingler, Flash Pinsir, 2 Totem Pinsir. Less than a day. Wang Lu has already tamed these 6 precious Pokémon, especially Big Red. At least in Wang Lu's view, the last 5 combined are far less precious than De Hong. After all, Big Red is a legend, possessing a legendary bloodline with extraordinary potential, none of them can catch up with them. Is there anything else? Mirong Shui couldn't help asking. She couldn't believe that there were so many precious Pokémon in this secret realm. Don't forget, Mr. Yan Gang has also tamed 2 totems. Too much. Actually, not too much. A secret realm, normal, will only be opened every other year or even longer, and the daily time is only open for a week. Accumulated over the years, there will be some precious Pokémon in each secret realm. And, most importantly, the secret realm is very large, even if there are precious Pokémon inside, normal people can't find it at all, it all depends on luck. Even, some people are lucky enough to find the precious Pokémon, but they don't have the strength to subdue it, it will be even more regrettable. Fortunately, Tian Lu has the power of Wave Guide. Precious Pokémon are often very powerful, and the waveguide 04 emitted from the body is also very strong. Through the power of the waveguide, Wang Lu can easily find them. Actually, even Wang Lu, it is impossible to find all the precious Pokémon. Don't forget, there are still precious small purchases. For example, Flash Pups, Totem Pups. Although they are special, precious, and have unlimited potential, they don't have the strength yet, and the waveguide emitted from the body is not strong enough. The waveguide and aura on them are the same as normal Pokémon normal, and even weaker. How to identify Wang Lu? To put it bluntly, through the waveguide, Wang Lu marks the powerful Pokémon, not the precious Pokémon. It's just that those powerful Pokémon just happen to be precious Pokémon. Besides, on the northern border, there are still a few near the sea. Wang Lu doesn't know whether the place near the sea is a forest, a valley, or a beach. He can only know if he goes there. However, that place is a bit far away. If we walk, we may not be able to reach it at dawn tomorrow. Mirong Shui said, then let's fly there. Wang Lu nodded. At this moment, Mirong Shui let Bai Diao out again. Boss, I won't go, I want to hone it myself. Cao Lai said suddenly. The current Cao Lai, the totem Pokémon, the precious Pokémon, doesn't have much attraction for him. Because he has recognized his own strength, so what if he owns the precious Pokémon? So as a top priority, he still needs to improve his own strength first. Hearing this, Wang Lu nodded and said, okay, let's meet at the hotel tonight. Lingyun's secret realm is open for a whole week. But Wang Lu didn't plan to stay for a full week. Before tonight, he will leave after he has subdued all the last few marked Pokémon. Mirong Shui also had the same idea. Her strength is very strong, and her realm is also very high. It is difficult for her to improve the Pokémon who subdues normal, even if she is a natural talent. She has a multi-dragon, a Flash Imbor, both of which are her trump card, epic level. In addition, there is also a Dratini with good qualifications, which will evolve into Dragonite in the future. If there is no accident, it will also be an epic level. At that time, she had a third trump card. If she still wants to make a big improvement, she can only aim at Flash, Totem, or those quasi-gods with good qualifications. But those are existences that cannot be met. Nowadays, she would rather follow Wang Lu and watch Wang Lu subdue it, at least it can be an eye addiction, and she doesn't want to spend time on ordinary Pokémon. Cao Lai had a different idea. He patted his big backpack, which contained the tent he had prepared in advance, as well as food and fresh water. Boss, we will see you in a week. What Cao Lai meant was that he wanted to stay in this secret realm for a full week. Okay, be ambitious. Wang Lu patted Cao Lai on the shoulder, and flew away with Mirong Shui and Wang Xianai. This time, because Cao Lai was not there, Wang Lu took the Salamence with Wang Xianai. Mirong Shui rode Bai Diao alone. After all, I don't know how many times Salamenke's physical strength is Bai Diao's. In this kind of matter, he naturally has to take care of the weak 10 times more. Even so, even with 2 people on Salamenke's body, it was not affected at all, and its speed was still far faster than Bai Diao. Mirong Shui rode Bai Diao at the back, watching silently as Wang Xianai hugged Wang Lu from behind, almost clinging to Wang Lu's body. Mirong Shui curled up her little mouth with a bit of taste. You are ahead of you, cunning little girl, even I have never taken a bus with Wang Lu before. For a while, Mirong Shui suddenly felt that it would be fine if she didn't have a flying mount. If that's the case, she can take a 3-person public ride with Wang Lu and Wang Xianai. Anyway, Salamence is strong enough, not to mention 3 people, even if 2 people are added to make up 5 people, Salamence probably has no problem. Although Wang Lu's Salamence is not a totem, his physique is much stronger than that of his kind. Normal totem stands with the same kind, giving people the feeling of father and son. But Wang Lu's Salamence stands with its kind. Even if he is color blind, can't distinguish colors, and just looks at his physique, he knows that Wang Lu's Salamence is the boss of the bosses. Seriously. The bloodline of Wang Lu's Salamence is very powerful. At the same level and realm, its strength is even higher than that of a 3rd-level god, comparable to a 2nd-level god. As for the primordial pterosaur, actually, Wang Lu's ancient pterosaur is pitch black, not normal's ancient pterosaur, but Flash ancient pterosaur. Normal's ancient pterosaur, if there is any, should also have grey skin, and its strength is comparable to that of a quasi-god. Wang Lu's ancient pterosaur is a flash ancient pterosaur, and its strength is comparable to Normal's flash quasi-god. Although it is not as good as Wang Lu's Salamence, it is also comparable to a third-level beast. Wang Lu currently has legendary Pokémon, regardless of the level and realm, if only based on the strength of the bloodline, there should be 2 echelons. Salamence, Celebi, belongs to the first echelon. Big Red, Zapdos, Moltres, and Pterosaur belong to the second echelon. Certainly, the blood gap between them is not big, even negligible. Strictly speaking, the gap between the second-level divine beasts and normal phantom beasts and the third-level divine beasts is not that big. A first-level god, that is the truly awesome existence. Second and third-level divine beasts must pass Mega Evolution before they can temporarily compete with first-level gods. Don't underestimate Mega Evolution, and don't be too mythical as a first-level god. In the original book, Steven's Flash Mega Metagross is absolutely comparable to 570 versus a 10th-level god. Salamence and Baidiao are very fast. In just over an hour, the 3 of Wang Lu arrived at their destination. This is the northern border of Lingyun's secret realm, which is a forest near the sea. When the 3 of Wang Lu flew over all the way, there were fewer and fewer trainers on the way, and there were no one at all here. Maybe 2 or 3 days, or 3 or 5 days later, other trainers will arrive here. Buzz buzz. As soon as the 3 of Wang Lu landed, a group of hundreds of beedrills immediately surrounded them. Beedrill, Purple Elite, Level 35 Elite. Drill, Purple Elite, Level 38 Elite. Beedrill, Orange Chosen, Level 59 Elite Worker. Beedrill, Purple Elite, Level 40 Elite. The level tends to be between level 30 and level 60. They are all elite Pokémon, most of them are purple qualifications, and only a few orange qualifications. Salamence, Flamethrower. With Wang Lu's order, Salamence immediately dispatched the group of beedrills. Enter the forest and keep going, but other Pokémon didn't see it, but beedrill appeared wave after wave, and the average level was getting higher and higher. Pity. With Salamence here, as many as they come, they will fall down, and it's all in an instant, and they can't cause the slightest harm to Wang Lu and others. If I'm not mistaken, this forest should be Beedrill's lair. The last few totems in this secret realm are probably all beedrills. Through the wave guide, the last few targets of Wang Lu lock on are all in the forest in front of him. Chapter 107. The last few totems are probably beedrills. Wang Lu said. Heard the words. A hint of disappointment flashed across Mirang Shue's eyes, because she didn't like beedrill very much, and was even a little scared. Taking Salamence forward to recommend, not long after, Wang Lu and the others gradually came to the depths of this forest. Wang Lu smelled the fragrance of honey when he walked all the way. Now, the deeper you go, the richer the fragrance becomes. And the source of the fragrance turned out to be a giant beehive the size of a house. The dazzling array of honey is ready to come out, the saffron is translucent, and the fragrance is overflowing, almost tempting people to commit crimes. Mirang Shui and Wang Xianai couldn't help but widen their eyes, covet was revealed in their beautiful eyes. Although they don't like beedrill very much, they can't resist the sweet saffron-colored honey. However, in front of this giant beehive, a large number of beedrills gathered. They raised their spears one after another, staring coldly at Wang Lu and the huge Salamence. His eyes were full of threats. It seemed that he could rush out at any time and kill Wang Lu and Salamence. Among them, there are 5 special beedrills. The beedrill in the head has bright golden skin, even the spear in its hand and the wings on its back are dazzling golden. Its body length is more than 180 centimeters, which is about the size of an adult. Drill. Attribute, Insect plus Poison. Level 75, Quasi-Elite. Qualification, Gold. OMG, Flash Totem Beedrill. Looking at the beedrill leader, Mirang Shui and Wang Xianai were stunned. Is there such a handsome and beautiful beedrill in this world? The other 4. 2 are totem beedrills with a body length of over 160 centimeters, and 2 are flash beedrills, 1 red and 1 green. Totem beedrill, Golden Epic, Level 65 Hall Master. Totem beedrill, Golden Epic, Level 9 Librarian. Flash beedrill, Golden Epic, Level 60 Hall Master. Flash beedrill, Golden Epic, Level 60 Hall Master. Human. Get out. You are not allowed to destroy our home, otherwise, you will pay the price with your lives. Wave Guide surges. For a moment, Wang Lu heard the strong voices of the beedrills. Wang Lu spread his hands and said to the golden beedrill, I'm not interested in destroying your homeland, but I am very interested in you. If possible, I hope to take you away. Flash Totem, Golden Legend. There is no doubt that the bloodline strength of this beedrill leader is comparable to that of a mythical beast. If we haven't met, that's fine. Now that we have met, how can Wang Lu miss it? Wang Lu suddenly made a sound, which made Mirong Xuet and Wang Xianai stunned for a moment before they came to their senses. The Wave Guide hero can listen to the voices of Pokémon, so that he can communicate with Pokémon without any barriers. This ability is really too powerful. Brother Wang Lu is so awesome. Wang Xianai was instantly infatuated. After Wang Lu finished speaking, the bee swarm also became quiet. Kin. However, if you want to be my trainer, you must defeat me first. The voice of the beedrill leader turned into a wave guide and was read by Wang Lu again. Wang Lu smiled slightly and glanced at the beedrill leader with great appreciation. How overwhelming is his Salamence! That guy actually dares to challenge him. He is truly worthy of his legendary qualifications. He is indeed uninhibited and arrogant. Follow me. The leader of beedrill seems to know that Wang Lu is extraordinary and can read his thoughts. He was not polite at the moment and took Wang Lu and Salamence out of the nest and came to an open grassland. Mirong Xuet, the second daughter Wang Xianai, and some beedrills also came to watch the game, including the 4 special beedrills were also watching the game. From this point on, the leader of beedrill stopped speaking. Wang Lu's Salamence indeed brought great pressure to it, and it had to go all out. Salamence, say hello first, flamethrower. Wang Lu gave an order. Salamence was still standing on the ground, opened his mouth, Salation spit up, and a flame blasted towards the leader of beedrill. This moment. However, the leader of beedrill exploded with astonishing speed. When he moved, a golden afterimage faintly appeared, and he pulled several positions to the right. The 10 flamethrowers were easily dodged. So fast! Mirong Xuet and Wang Xianai couldn't help exclaiming. Big Red's speed is also very fast, but it has to travel a certain distance before it can pull out the red afterimage. Dahong needs a certain amount of run-up to maximize his speed, and only then will the red afterimage appear. The beedrill leader in front of him has only moved a few positions, but there is still a golden afterimage. This only shows that its speed is faster than Dahong. Of course, its level is indeed much higher than Dahong. With the same qualifications and the same bloodline strength, its level is a whole realm ahead of Dahong. Seeing the speed of the beedrill leader, Salamenke's eyes showed sharpness and he flew out in an instant. For a moment, sand and rocks were flying, and the power was extremely terrifying. I saw. Salamence also pulled out the afterimage of black, rushed towards the leader of beedrill like lightning, and at the same time opened his mouth to spit up flames, continuously, crazily strafing towards the leader of beedrill. Salamence is unusually serious. That beedrill leader is so proud. Shhhhhhhh. Under the successive attacks from Salamenke's flamethrower, the beedrill leader also continued to dodge. Once, I almost got hit and used double team. For a moment, the leader of beedrill separated dozens of shadows and surrounded Salamence in mid-air. The battle rhythm is so fast. This is an elite level battle. Mirong Xuet was completely shocked. Now, the strength shown by Wang Lu and Salamence is no less than that of her father Mirong Hai. No wonder, even my eldest brother Mirong Bai is not his rival. Mirong Xuet was horrified. Dozens of beedrill leaders, while surrounding Salamence, are still moving and exchanging positions with each other. Through the wave guide, Wang Lu knows who is real and who is fake. There is only one true deity, and the rest are just shadows, nothing more than blinders. Salamence is connected to Wang Lu and knows who is real and who is fake, so it doesn't panic at all. But while the leader of beedrill is using the shadow clones, he is also agility with the shadow clones, which makes it impossible for Salamence to lock the exact location of the leader of beedrill. Because it has no exact location at all. Hurricane. Wang Lu gave an order. In this case, I will destroy all your clones. Chapter 108. Hurricane. While Wang Lu gave the order, he suddenly felt that there was a large amount of bug-type energy gathering around Salamence. Swish, brush, brush. In an instant, streaks of hard white silk suddenly appeared next to Salamence. Before Salamence could use Hurricane, he was wrapped in dense silk, turned into a huge cocoon, and fell to the ground. What skill is that? String shot. Wang Lu was shocked. He never expected that string shot would have such a form of presentation. This is a bit too awesome, 360 degrees, no dead ends blocked. Moreover, it appears suddenly and is difficult to guard against. Although this string shot cannot be blocked forever, you have already killed several sets of my beadrill skills before you came out. That's string shot? What a terrible display. Following Nido Queen's physical serve, the beadrill leader's mega string shot once again shocked Mirang Shuet. A whoosh sound. I saw dozens of beadrill leaders merging into one in an instant, raising their sharp golden spears and stabbing the giant cocoon fiercely. Burn up! Wang Lu gave an order, and the huge silkworm cocoon exploded instantly, and a terrifying red pillar of fire shot into the sky. No matter how strong the leader of beadrill is, he still has to avoid the edge temporarily. Burn up! How can this be? Mirang Shuet and Wang Xianai looked at each other with disbelief in their beautiful eyes. Really? Burn up is the ultimate secret of the fire system, possessing extremely terrifying power that only a handful of fire Pokémon can master. And after using burn up, the Pokémon will temporarily lose its fire type. Without fire type, the fire type skills of Pokémon 407 will not be considered skills of this type, and the power will naturally be greatly reduced. Normally, it is impossible to master burn up with Salamence, a non-fire Pokémon. But this Salamence by Wang Lu is mastered. The fire energy in its body is too strong, far beyond the normal Salamence. Because of this, as a flying dragon, it is not afraid of ice. Certainly. If it uses burn up, it will have far more serious side effects than if fire Pokémon uses burn up. That is, it will exhaust the whole body's flame energy, making it impossible to use any fire skills within a short period of time. At the same time, without the fire energy, it becomes like a normal flying dragon, 4 times weaker than ice in a short period of time. For fire Pokémon, using burn up will only minimize its fire power at most. It uses burn up, and for a period of time, it cannot use fire skills. Of course, it doesn't matter. It itself is not a fire Pokémon. It doesn't matter if you can't use fire skills temporarily, it also has more powerful dragon skills. Dragon Tail. Wang Lu gave an order, Salamence burst out of the fire instantly, and the slender and powerful dragon tail hit the leader of beadrill hard. That powerful force directly drove the leader of beadrill far away, causing heavy losses for a while. Ho! Salamence instantly added another shot of black dragon breath, which hit the leader of beadrill hard and exploded, killing him instantly. Despite the speed of the beadrill boss and its weird string shot ability, Salamence was often in a tough fight. However, Salamence is stronger than it. It simply cannot, or even dares to withstand Salamence's attack. But it is also an indisputable fact. Go, Pokémon Ball! Wang Lu threw the ball decisively, and the red light flashed and captured the beadrill leader. It seemed to have completely fainted, or it may have fully recognized Wang Lu's strength. It was successfully conquered by Wang Lu with almost no struggle. Drill. Attribute, Insect plus Poison. Level 75, Quasi-Elite. Qualification, Gold. Physical attack skills, String Shot, Twineedle Attack, Fury Attack, Pin Missile. Special attack skills, none. Variation skills, Agility, Double Team. What the hell, it's actually a physical string shot. Glancing at the beadrill leader's attribute panel, Tian Lu couldn't help but smile. This indicates that the weird string shot skill of the beadrill leader not only has a control effect, but at least it also has a certain bind effect. This makes it even more difficult for rival to break free. This skill is a bit invincible. If Salamence can't burn up, if Salamence's level is lower, if he is controlled by the cocoon for one more second, he will probably be caught by the second. Thinking of this, the corner of Wang Lu's mouth twitched again. Wang Lu has no doubts about the terrifying attack power of the pair of golden spears possessed by the leader of beadrill. Needless to say, this level of beadrill is 100% Monter, that is, the hidden ability, Snipe Shot Hand. Normal Pokémon, if it hits a key point, it is a crit in general, and it will get extra damage. And Pokémon with the snipe shot ability, once critically hit, the damage will be multiplied several times. A Fury attack. With the speed of this Beedrill leader, it is easy to stab more than a dozen shots in an instant, and with 1 or 2 critical strikes, the damage is directly filled. Wang Lu's Salamence is only quasi-elite, if there is no burn-up, it will probably be second. But no if, eb. Wang Lu has successfully subdued this Beedrill leader, this is the iron normal fact. My god, this Beedrill! Mirang Shui was horrified. She knew that if Wang Lu tamed this Beedrill, the 5 would surely be improved again. Brother Wang Lu is awesome. I believe he can become the youngest and best elite champion in history. Wang Xianai looked at Wang Lu, becoming more and more nympho. At this time, Wang Lu was in a very good mood when he subdued the leader of Beedrill. Axe you, Xianai, there are 2 totems and 2 flashes, don't you want them? Wang Lu looked at Mirang Shui, and Wang Xianai asked. Mirang Shui and Wang Xianai shook their heads at the same time. I want this one in your hand. Mirang Shui joked. Impossible, even if you are my wife. Wang Lu Orberg straight man, categorically refused. Since Mirang Shui and Wang Xianai didn't want it, Wang Lu didn't hesitate to subdue the 4 Beedrills. Treat the leader of Beedrill as the main force and train the other 4 as pets at home. Aiken, Xiaohong, Midori. Wang Lu released all 5 Beedrills at once, and randomly named the Beedrill leader and the other 2 flashes new names. This, your name is. Mirang Shui couldn't complain, but Wang Xianai couldn't stop laughing. Aiken, don't you mind eating some of your honey? The group returned to the Beedrill lair. Wang Lu looked at Aiken and asked. Aiken shook his head, saying he didn't mind. After all, it has recognized the Lord, and its honey is Wang Lu's honey. Not to mention Wang Lu and the others only ate a little bit, so what if they ate all of it? $70 billion. It seems that they really can't eat all of them. After all, the bee colony still needs to use the honey to raise their offspring. Master, if possible, I hope you can release at least one of my 4 subordinates and return them to the group. Aiken knew that he was about to leave, like King Normal, overlooking his own ethnic group and his subjects. I feel very sad. It was born from this group, became stronger, and became king. I'm leaving now, of course I don't want to part with it. But it has no regrets. It knows that following a powerful trainer like Wang Lu, it will see a wider world and eventually become stronger. But while pursuing your own ideals, it also hopes that its own ethnic group can have a longer-term development. If it, and its 4 capable men, all leave, then the combat effectiveness of this group will undoubtedly be greatly weakened. At that time, it is very likely that it will be invaded by foreigners, its homeland will be destroyed, and it will eventually be torn apart until it no longer exists. Waveguide Surge. Wang Lu couldn't help but patted himself on the head, he had actually forgotten about this. Sorry, I almost forgot, you belong to them. Patting Akin's golden spear, Wang Lu smiled apologetically. All at once, release those 4 Beedrills. Wang Lu was a little bit reluctant to take them in, but then released them again. He even named 2 of them Beedrill. How do I feel? I kind of look like that silly thing. No. If it's really stupid, maybe even Aiken will let him go. Wang Lu smiled wryly, and finally found the fulcrum of balance in his heart. At least he thinks, doing so is the most reasonable. Those 4 Beedrills, even if he tamed them, they were just kept as pets for fun, but staying here can help the Beedrills develop in the long run. The meaning is too different. All he needs is Aiken, that's enough. Chapter 109. When Wang Lu, Mirang Shui and Wang Xianai returned the same way, the sky gradually darkened and eventually became completely dark. The 3 of Wang Lu took Salamence and Baidiao and flew in the air. Looking down, they found that there were courtneys everywhere in the jungle, in the valley, and by the beach, as well as a large number of tents. It can be seen that there are not a few trainers who think like Cao Li normal. Wang Lu firmly believes that in some corners of this secret realm, there are still flash cubs and totem cubs. As for whether those trainers can get it, it all depends on their own luck. After flying out of the secret realm and sending Wang Xianai back to the gym, when Wang Lu and Mirang Shui returned to the hotel, it was already past 8 o'clock in the evening. Milotic, Golden Epic, Level 70 Quasi-Elite. Flash Pincer, Golden Epic, Level 70 Quasi-Elite. Totem Pincer, Golden Epic, Level 68 Gym Owner. Totem Pincer, Golden Epic, Level 68 Gym Owner. Kingler, Golden Epic, Level 63 Gym Owner. Through the teleporter, Wang Lu teleported these 5 Pokémon back to Tianhu Laboratory. Plus Archaeopteron and Dragonite. Today, Wang Lu already has 7 Pokémon with his parents. The lineup in Wang Lu's hands is Zapdos, Golden Legend, Level 100 Master Craftsman. Salamence, Golden Legend, Level 80 Elite. Beedrill, Golden Legend, Level 75 Quasi Elite. Celebi, Golden Legend, Level 70 Quasi Elite. Big Red, Golden Legend, Level 62 Gym Leader. Moltres, Golden Legend, Level 50 Elite Worker. Electivire, Golden Epic, Level 75, Quasi Elite. Haxorus, Golden Epic, Level 65, Hall Owner. Blastoise, Golden Epic, Level 65, Hall Owner. Rapidash, Golden Epic, Level 48, Elite. Tianhu Laboratory, Front Yard. At this time, Dragonite, the ancient pterosaur, was fighting with a team of 10 elite Might Hyena. Good. The hunters couldn't stand it any longer and finally took action. But they never expected that while Wang Hongguang was a Pokémon professor, he was also a powerful trainer. Dragonite. They did not expect that Professor Wang Hongguang, in addition to the ancient pterosaur, also owned an incomparably powerful Dragonite. Compared with their dignified and tense faces, Wang Hongguang is extremely relaxed and excited. At the same time, commanding the 2 powerful Pokémon, Dragonite and Primordial Pterosaur, makes his blood boil, as if returning to his boyhood. Ancient Pterosaur, Dragon Wave. Dragonite, Thunder Punch. Wang Hongguang waved his hand and gave orders continuously. With a bang sound, the ancient pterosaur opened its mouth and spit out a dragon breath, killing a Might Hyena instantly. At the same time, Dragonite stepped forward in a flash and swung his left and right fists in succession, easily knocking out 2 Tian Lang Yans with 1 punch each. At this time, the other 7 Might Hyena retreated far away and released shadow balls at the same time, focusing on Dragonite. Bang bang bang! Continuous explosions sounded, stirring up a cloud of smoke and dust. Wang Hongguang opened his mouth, his eyes full of worry, while the 5 hunters opposite him sneered. 2. When the smoke clears, Dragonite was still standing calmly, with almost no damage on his body. What? Looking at the scene in front of them, the 5 hunters feasted, and the corners of their mouths twitched crazily. They are elite hunters. His subordinate Might Hyena has even reached the elite level. In terms of levels, she is above level 50. But there are 7 such powerful Might Hyenas, and they are attacking with concentrated fire, but they are unable to break through the defense of that Dragonite? What level is that Dragonite? It's a bit too scary. In an instant, the expressions of the 5 hunters became incomparable. They don't know. Wang Lu's Dragonite has a level as high as 73, which is a quasi-elite realm. As for the ancient pterosaur, although the bloodline is stronger, but now it is only level 50, barely considered a high-level elite. In other words, the current Dragonite is far stronger than Taigulong. They chose the wrong target completely. Just now, if they focused on the ancient pterosaur, it might have some effect. But set fire to Dragonite, it can't break the defense at all. Ha ha ha! Wang Hongguang smirked, surprised and delighted. Now that he has actually used it, he realizes that Wang Lu's Dragonite is actually so powerful. This made him feel confident, and the last trace of worry in his heart completely disappeared. Hongguang Professor, Alu sent a new Pokémon over again. At this time, a researcher assistant named Mihong hurriedly came to Wang Hongguang, holding the 5 luxury balls that Wang Lu had just sent over. Oh? So many? It seems that kid has gained a lot in the secret realm. Wang Hongguang was overjoyed and quickly took the 5 luxury balls. He didn't know what Pokémon was in it, but he knew that as long as it was a Pokémon sent by Wang Lu, it must not be an ordinary character, maybe it could come in handy now. Thinking like this, he randomly selected a luxury ball and threw it out. In a flash of white light, an extremely large Kingler appeared. Right. After all, how could the normal Kingler be taller than the Dragonite? And much taller. Totem Kingler, Totem Kingler. Wang Hongguang, Mihong, and other researcher assistants were all stunned when they looked at Wang Lu's Kingler. Although they all knew that Wang Lu was very powerful, they really didn't expect that Wang Lu would send such a rare Pokémon so casually. Then the remaining 4 are just. Wang Hongguang's heart trembled, and after swallowing hard, he immediately released the remaining 4. Flash Milotic, Golden Pinsir, Totem Pinsir, Totem Pinsir. All are Tier 1 rare Pokémon. But now, so many appear at once, it's simply unbelievable. Oh my god, Professor! Are all these rare Pokémon just teleported here by your son? The researcher assistants present were all stunned when they looked at Wang Lu's Pokémon. Wang Hongguang nodded blankly, even he couldn't believe it. I have heard for a long time that there is totem Pokémon in the secret realm. But he never expected that with just such a small amount, Wang Lu would capture so many and teleport them over. Kingler, Mitsumi, and 3 Pinsir, these 5 Pokémon were sent here before. Wang Lu had already told them to send them to their parents. Therefore, even though they came to a strange environment, they didn't panic at all. Instead, they looked at the hunters on the opposite side with unkind expressions on their faces. Especially Mitsumi, because it knows Wang Hongguang, and even more familiar with Wang Lu's Dragonite and the ancient pterosaur, so it immediately knows that those hunters are enemies. As for Kingler and Pinsir, they sharpened their knives and looked at the hunters, their eyes full of threats. What the hell? Who is this professor's son? Why are there so many rare Pokémon? At this time, the 5 hunters trembled in their hearts, filled with remorse. Although Mitsumi, Kingler, and the 3 Pinsir are all extremely rare Pokémon, but now, they don't have the slightest greed. The momentum on the other side is too strong, they dare not even think about it. Even, tonight, if they were able to go back alive, that would be the blessing of their ancestors. Chapter 110. Everyone, let's fight. Defeat our enemies. After all, Wang Hongguang is only a third-rate trainer. He cannot command so many Pokémon at the same time. But this does not hinder his high spirits. With a wave of his hand, Dragonite, Archaic Pterodactyl, Mitsumi, Kingler, and 3 Pinsir rushed out together, destroying normal, knocking out a Mightyena in an instant. Dead. The 5 hunters were stunned. After seeing the powerful combat power of these Pokémon, the greed in their hearts was instantly shattered. Now, they only have one thought, and that is to escape and escape alive. However, Dragonite and the Archaic Pterodactyl have blocked all their escape routes in the air, leaving them with no way to escape. For a time, the hunters were completely desperate, surrendered, and knelt down to beg for mercy. Wang Hongguang didn't want to deal with them. He had already reported the matter to the 620 office police. Not long after, the police came and took all the hunters away. The police officers led the hunters, and as soon as they left, Tian Hui hurried over. Originally, she was resting tonight, so she hurried over after hearing something happened at the laboratory, but as a result, it was already over. Professor Tian Hui, just now, your husband was really handsome. Mihong and other female assistants looked at Tian Hui and joked with a smile. Tian Hui was confused. Wang Hongguang smiled proudly and quickly showed Wang Lu's Pokémon to her. Oh my god, are these? Tian Hui was stunned for a moment. After learning that these Pokémon were all her son's Pokémon, she suddenly felt proud. Immediately afterwards, Wang Hongguang, Tian Hui, and the researchers present began to arrange housing for these Pokémon. Tian Hui Laboratory is huge and has a built-in garden. The 3 Pinsir were raised in the woods of the garden, and Mitsumi was placed in the pool of the garden. Kingler Salation, it is an amphibious creature after all. The Archean pterosaur has always been kept in the front yard of the laboratory. As for Dragonite, Wang Hongguang seems to like Dragonite very much and keeps it with him at all times. Now, with the addition of these new members, Tian Hui Laboratory's strength has undergone earth-shaking changes in an instant. After that, if the hunter group dares to have any intentions, it will have to think carefully first. In the hotel, Wang Lu entered the instance again. After clearing Flaming Mountain, the next dungeon was opened, which turned out to be Jiwan Gym. This copy also has a challenge condition, which is 2 Hall Master badges. After defeating Yan Gang, Wang Lu has obtained the 2nd Hall Leader badge, and therefore is qualified to challenge this copy. If Wang Lu remembers correctly, this Tokiwa Gym is the strongest gym in Kanto, and the gym leader is Giovanni, the boss of Team Rocket. Of course, they are all plots in the original work. I don't know if this is the case in the dungeon, or if anything new will appear. White light flashed. Wang Lu arrived at the Viridian Gym. Inside the gym, the view was very dark and there was a long corridor in front of him. Wang Lu moved forward and soon met the first NPC, a blonde man with a rough face and a strong build. Beside him stood a very strong Reishu. He is not taller than other Reishu, he is just stronger, in other words, he is fat. At a glance, it was obvious that this Reishu had been trained intensively on strength, but had lost a certain amount of agility. Ma Zishi. Wang Lu recognized the NPC. Ma Zishi is the leader of the electric gym in Kanto. Unexpectedly, in this copy now, he is just like a younger brother. It's normal. After all, in the original comics, Ma Zishi is one of the 3 executives of the Rockets, and he is a subordinate of the boss Giovanni. The gym leader of the electric gym is just his apparent identity. Of course, in this copy, no matter what his identity is, in Wang Lu's view, he is just an NPC. Boy! Jiwan Gym is a gym that I am stronger than. If you haven't collected at least 10 chapters, you'd better get out as soon as possible so that you don't waste your efforts. Ma Zishi glanced at Wang Lu casually and said with a smile. Wang Lu smiled slightly, took out the Cerulean badge, and said with a smile, 10 badges? Sorry, in your Guangdong, I only have this badge. Cerulean badge is the weakest gym in Kanto. Badge, haha, it turns out you are a noob? Get out of here and don't waste my time. After Ma Zishi laughed wildly, impatience flashed on his face. Wang Lu also looked impatient. Stop talking nonsense, does it mean that after I defeat you, I can move on? Ma Zishi nodded naturally and said, of course, but you must also have this strength. If you don't have the strength, but you want to show off, you have to pay the price. However, even if you regret it now, it's already too late. I want to teach you a lesson, so go ahead and play naughty. Ma Zishi couldn't help but sent out the first Pokémon. Naughty Bomb. Attribute, Electricity. Level 62, Master. Qualification, Orange. Glancing at Naughty Bullet's attribute panel, Wang Lu was about to send out Pokémon to fight when a system prompt suddenly sounded in his ears. Ding, a warm reminder, when the host challenges the gym in the instance, a maximum of 6 Pokémon can be used in each game. When all 6 Pokémon lose their ability to fight, the challenge fails. Therefore, the host please choose the Pokémon you use carefully. Wang Lu was slightly startled. Although he didn't think he would fail in the challenge, he still couldn't help but ask, what will be the consequences if the challenge fails? System, the host will be forcibly kicked out of the copy, and the money in the host's account will be reduced by 20%. That's it. Wang Lu couldn't help laughing. But even so, even if the punishment of failing the challenge is very low, Wang Lu will not fail easily. Go, Blastoise! Wang Lu also quickly sent out his first Pokémon. Blastoise! Ma Zishi just wanted to laugh. I have a naughty 0.6 bullet on the field. You send out a water-type Blastoise? Are you looking for a draw? Duh! When he saw Wang Lu's Blastoise clearly, he was stunned for a moment. Damn! What a big Blastoise! Ma Zishi in front of him didn't seem to know the concept of totem, but he knew at a glance that Wang Lu's Blastoise was very extraordinary. And as a muscular man, he likes big Pokémon very much. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made his electric mound breeder so strong. Boy, I have decided that if you fail the challenge, as punishment, I will accept your Blastoise. Ma Zishi looked at Blastoise with bright eyes and laughed wildly. Idiot, just you? How could I lose to a little guy like you? Wang Lu couldn't help but sneer. Chapter 111. Little boy? Arrogant brat! Ma Zishi was furious and shouted, Naughty Bomb, let him know how powerful you are, use Thunderbolt. The words fell. Naughty Bullet instantly released a Thunderbolt, slashing towards Blastoise fiercely. It's too slow. Blastoise, use Rapid Spin. Following Wang Lu's order, Blastoise immediately got up with Rapid Spin, and bounced away the snow electricity Yuan that had just struck. Use the Hydro Pump. Wang Lu ordered again. 2 high-pressure hydro pumps rushed out suddenly, and slammed towards the Naughty Bomb. So fast! Ma Zishi was taken aback, and when he realized it, the Naughty Bomb had been hit by the hydro pump, and he passed out completely. Come back naughty, go Electivire. Ma Zishi immediately sent out his second Pokémon. Electivire. Attribute, Electricity. Level 65, Master. Qualification, Orange. Ma Zishi's Electivire is not as tall as Wang Lu's Electivire, but it is stronger. Most of Ma Zishi's Pokémon are like this. From the perspective of the 0-4 game, he just spent all his effort on the double attack. Come back, Blastoise. At this time, Wang Lu also took back Blastoise and sent Electivire to play. Following the appearance of Wang Lu's Electivire, Ma Zishi was taken aback and could not help but gasp. Different color Electivire. Counting that huge Blastoise just now, damn, there are so many rare Pokémon. Wang Lu's Electivire, grade rolling, qualification rolling. It is imposing, much stronger than Ma Zishi's Electivire. Although Ma Zishi's Electivire is strong and heavy-backed, it has a taste of strong outside and dry inside. Even under the pressure of Wang Lu's Electivire, it was sweating profusely, and subconsciously took a few steps back. Looking at such a scene, Ma Zishi instantly felt ashamed, and shouted, "Don't be afraid, Electivire, if it's a contest of strength, we will never lose." Ma Zishi gave an order, "Use thunder." Wang Lu also shouted at the same time, "We also use thunder." Boom! Two powerful lightning bolts collided fiercely. But the thunder released by Wang Lu's Electivire was bigger and more powerful, visible to the naked eye, and it defeated the opponent's thunder effortlessly, and after a breath, it ruthlessly pierced Ma Zishi's Electivire. Ouch! For a moment, Ma Zishi's Electivire howled in pain. Bastard! Useless things! Seeing this, Ma Zishi became even more angry. Kill it, use Giga Impact. Wang Lu sneered slightly and gave an order. Finished talking. Electivire's body was shining with golden light, and he rushed forward, carrying an unrivaled aura, and slammed into Ma Zishi's Electivire. One move, instant kill. Ma Zishi's Electivire instantly lost the ability to fight. Hateful! Ma Zishi took back the Electivire fiercely, and immediately sent out his third Pokémon. An evolution of Magneton, Magnezone. Magnezone. Attribute, Electric plus Steel. Level 65, Master. Qualification, Orange. Magnezone, plus Steel type. After scanning the panel, Wang Lu took back the Electivire and sent out the horse. This Rapidash evolved from the Ponyta that Wang Lu captured in the copy of Flame Mountain. Its level has never been high, and it is only level 48 now. It is an elite middle level, and now it has not appeared for a long time. Although the level is not high, it has a light golden qualification, and the strength of its bloodline crushes the opposite Magnezone. Its overall strength is also comparable to the normal Tokamai class. Coupled with the increase in Wang Lu's Vulcan power and its own attribute advantages, it's not like Rapidash has no chance of defeating that Magnezone. Damn, it's another color Pokémon. Ma Zishi was completely sour, and shouted loudly, "Magnezone, use Thunderbolt!" Chi! Magnezone immediately released a powerful Thunderbolt, and ruthlessly blasted towards the opposite Rapidash. Facing Ma Zishi's attack, Wang Lu gave an order, "Rapidash, use agility to dodge, use Flare Blitz." Finished talking. Rapidash's figure flashed sharply. Under agility's contest condition, its speed was very fast, and it also vaguely pulled out a blue afterimage. In an instant, it avoided Magnezone's Thunderbolt attack. Immediately afterwards, blue flames burst out from Rapidash's body, and the flames shot straight up. Rapidash ran wildly, carrying this huge wave of blue fire, and slammed into Magnezone fiercely. There was a loud bang sound. I saw that Magnezone's face was full of pain, and Normal flew out like a cannonball. Fire Steel, this move is very effective, and it caused great damage to Magnezone. And that's not all. At this time, Magnezone's whole body was covered with red burns on a large area, and it seemed to be in a burning contest condition. Every minute and every second, it would burn and consume physical strength. Damn, use Thunder! Ma Zishi gave an order. Magnezone uses Thunder right away. However, when the burning pain hit, its power was greatly reduced. It was clearly Thunder, but its power was not as good as the previous Thunderbolt. But even so, I saw Rapidash leaping backwards, but easily dodged it. Great opportunity, use high horsepower. Following Wang Lu's order, a golden light flashed under Rapidash's feet, the earth collapsed, and with a strong force of the earth, he slammed into Magnezone fiercely. Ground restrains fire, restrains steel, quadruples damage, and the effect is mega outstanding. Really? Being hit by Rapidash high horsepower, the pain on Magnezone's face flashed away, and he passed out completely. So far, Mazishi seems to have lost 3 Pokémon. Damn, hate. They are all useless trash. Mazishi angrily took back the Magnezone. Seeing him like that, Wang Lu couldn't help but sneered and said, "What's the matter? Aren't you very strong? Why, losing 3 games in a row? Humph, the first 3 are just trash, and the next one is my real history." Mazishi snorted coldly, and sure enough, he took out an Ultra Ball this time. Go, Lay Pokémon. Ray Pokémon. Attribute, Electricity. Level 70, Quasi-Elite. Qualification, Orange. Comeback, Rapidash. Glancing at Lay Pokémon's attribute panel, Wang Lu decisively took Rapidash back and sent his 4th Pokémon, Haxorus, to play. Humph, is it another color Pokémon? You kid, it's a little bit of luck, but it's useless. My Thunder Pokémon is very strong, far surpassing the previous 3 trash. Even if you are a different color Pokémon, you can't stop its sharpness. Sending the main force Lay Pokémon on the field, Mazishi became more confident. Chapter 112. With a wave of his hand, Mazishi confidently ordered, "Thunder Pokémon, use Thunderbolt." "Do you only know this trick?" Wang Lu couldn't help but sneer, and at the same time, he shouted at Haxorus, "Show the results of your training and use Sword Dance." Finished talking. Haxorus spun like a top with normal rapid, and a strong whirlwind was generated all around. The thunderbolt hit hard, but was easily deflected. And at this moment, Haxorus stopped spinning and stood firmly. In an instant, golden light flashed under his feet, and his whole body's strength and momentum skyrocketed. Very good. Wang Lu's eyes lit up, and he said, "Kill it, use Dragon Claw." The violent dragon energy gathers. For a moment, Haxorus's Dragon Claw soared 3 times, emitting a strong white light at the same time, carrying a terrifying power, and fiercely slashed towards the opposite Thunder Pokémon. Feeling the powerful momentum of Haxorus at this moment, Lay Pokémon showed a look of shock, and subconsciously took half a step back. To know. Its level is as high as 70, which is a quasi-elite state. Even if it's just the early days of quasi-elite, it's still quasi-elite. Its level, realm, is even higher than Haxorus. However, he was overwhelmed by Haxorus' momentum. This shows how powerful Haxorus is and how powerful it is. Haxorus itself is extremely powerful, with strength and momentum, but also the mega-normal quasi-god. Compared with the quasi-god, it just lacks frankness. They are also golden epics, with a slight difference. As for Wang Lu's Flash Haxorus, it is definitely the top epic bloodline. At this time, Mazishi also clearly felt Haxorus' strong Hideki momentum, which is completely different from the Pokémon that Wang Lu played before. This momentum is really too strong. Even Mazishi, even if Lay Pokémon is his main Pokémon, he doesn't want to be tough. All along, he has been strengthening the strength of his Pokémon, thus ignoring the speed. Even Lay Pokémon, who is known for his high speed, has been trained by him to be very strong, possessing excessive strength, but lacking in speed. At this time, Haxorus came running wildly. Even if Lay Pokémon wanted to run, he would never be able to escape. Use Thunder. Mazishi gave the last order. Boom! The two forces collided suddenly, resulting in a violent explosion, and the smoke and dust rose violently. When the smoke clears, Haxorus stood indifferently, with only a part of the scratches all over his body. His breathing was steady, and he was still in the peak contest condition. On the other hand, Lay Pokémon fell to the ground, his eyes were swirling, and he passed out completely. His eyebrows were furrowed like a mountain. At this moment, Mazishi's face became extremely serious and serious. He completely underestimated Wang Lu. He never expected that this random brat would possess such terrifying strength. Immediately afterwards, he took the Thunder Pokémon back and took out an Ultra Ball again. It's your turn to play, Jean. At this time, Mazishi sent out a 5th Pokémon, Ampharos. His Ampharos are not normal, his Ampharos are very fat. His Pokémon are basically very strong. However, this Ampharos is obviously not as strong as normal, but plump, and its body shape is even more mellow than the so-called fat Dragonite. Especially that belly, which is even bigger than Dragonite's beer belly. Ampharos. Attribute, Electricity. Level 75, Quasi-Elite. Qualification, Light Gold. It's actually a pale gold qualification. Glancing at the attribute panel of Ampharos, Wang Lu was taken aback. That Ampharos is neither Flash nor Totem, but it is also a golden epic, which is somewhat outrageous. It seems that Ma Zishi did not train him to become fat, but he was born with it. To a certain extent, this can be considered a gift. Wang Lu secretly thought. So the characteristics of this Ampharos should be similar to Totem, but not exactly the same. Totem should increase the strength by 2 levels, increase the tankiness by 1 level, and decrease the speed by 1 level. As for this Ampharos, its strength should increase by 1 level, its smoothness should increase by 2 levels, and its speed should decrease by 1 level. Preemptive Strike. Haxorus, use Dragon Claw. Wang Lu gave an order. At this time, Haxorus also seemed to feel that the Ampharos was extraordinary. He spontaneously used Sword Dance to increase his strength and momentum again, then wielded the huge Dragon Claw and slashed at the Ampharos. Haxorus was very fast and had already rushed in front of Ampharos in the blink of an eye. But facing Haxorus' attack, Ma Zishi didn't even mean to flinch. Ampharos, use cotton for defense. Finished talking. A large amount of dense cotton suddenly appeared all over Ampharos' body, which greatly improved Ampharos' physical defense. This Ampharos already has extremely strong frankness, but now it uses cotton defense. On the basis of this frankness, its physical defense has at least doubled. Haxorus' enhanced Dragon Claw was slashed hard, but there was no sound at all. I saw that the facial expression of the Ampharos did not change at all, which shows that it was almost uninjured. What a terrible defense! Looking at the scene in front of him, Wang Lu's pupils shrank. Haha, how about it, my Ampharos has strong defense. Seeing Wang Lu deflated, Ma Zishi laughed wildly with pride. The next moment, his eyes turned cold. Ampharos, use Thunder Punch. Ampharos punched out, thunder and lightning roared all around, and the power was extremely impressive. Because the distance is too close, even though Haxorus is super fast, he is unable to dodge at this time and can only cross his arms to block. Rao is so. Ampharos used Thunder Punch to knock Haxorus away, and his Solace plowed out streaks of ember on the ground. Come back, Haxorus. At this time, Wang Lu decisively took back Haxorus. That Ampharos is indeed a bit too strong. Golden Epic, the bloodline strength is comparable to Haxorus, but the level is crushing. More importantly, the physical attack that Haxorus is best at has almost no effect on that Ampharos. Therefore, Wang Lu could only replace him. Next, should we switch to a special attack player? No. Wang Lu also wants to try physical attacks again. The decision is yours, Dahong. As the 5th Pokémon, Tian Lu sent Dahong to appear. Clang! After Dahong appeared on the stage, he immediately let out a thunderous and sharp growl, and his momentum, Dazhao, was extremely powerful. Even though its level is far inferior to that of the opposite Ampharos, its aura is still more powerful. After all, it is a golden legend and cannot be understood with common sense. This, boy, what kind of Pokémon are you? Looking at Dahong blankly, Ma Zishi was stunned. This guy doesn't even have the concept of totem and doesn't know Dahong. It's really normal. Wang Lu didn't want to whet his appetite, so he said calmly, Zapdos, Zapdos from the Galar region. After all, Ma Zishi is a native, that is, a character in the original Pokémon world, so he should know the existence of the Galar region. Even if you haven't been there, you should have heard of it. Zapdos. Ha ha ha, it's so funny. This guy's wings are so small, I'm afraid he can't even fly. How can he be the legendary Zapdos? Boy, do you think the legendary Pokémon are so easy to conquer? You are simply dreaming. For a moment, Ma Zishi stared at Wang Lu and sneered repeatedly. Chapter 113. Looking at Ma Zishi's ignorant face, Wang Lu couldn't help laughing, and didn't want to say anything more, so he ordered directly, Dahong, bulk up. Thunderous kick. Heard the words. De Hong immediately mustered all the muscles in his body, and for a while his strength and aura, including his defense, soared, and then turned into a red lightning bolt, kicked up and kicked Ampharos hard. I saw De Hong's healthy feet almost sinking into the cotton on Ampharos' body. This is enough to show how powerful Big Red is. However, Ampharos is motionless, as if not at all. Immediately afterwards, I saw Ampharos pushed his swollen belly forward, and the big red head flew out. Ha ha ha! Seeing this, Ma Zishi laughed, fixed his eyes on Wang Lu, and said sarcastically, "Hey, isn't it Zapdos? It's just such a little power? Can't even break through the defense of my Ampharos." Wang Lu was unmoved, and said, "De Hong, just keep it like this, use thunderous kick continuously." As soon as the words fell, De Hong turned into a red lightning bolt and kicked Ampharos fiercely with his healthy feet continuously. Every time he kicked, De Hong would change direction and continue to attack. His figure was like a red lightning bolt, and his attack was so fast that the clumsy Ampharos couldn't react at all. He could only be repeatedly a boom, 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 boom. The 104 feet in a row made the expression on Ma Zishi's face, from the relaxed and disdainful at the beginning, gradually become dignified and surprised. In the end, I was stunned and completely stunned. On the first kick, Ampharos remained motionless. The second and third kick produced a qualitative change, and Ampharos was severely repelled by a big step. With the fourth and final kick, De Hong kicked Ampharos flying, smashing a wall. Ampharos' entire body was sunk deep into the wall, his eyes were swirling, and he completely lost his ability to fight. This, so fast, so powerful. How is this possible? Is it really Zapdos? Staring at Wang Lu, staring at De Hong, Ma Zishi's face was full of horror and disbelief. Is it important? Even if it's not Zapdos, it's not something you can resist. Wang Lu sneered. At the moment, Ma Zishi has lost 5 games in a row. On the other hand, Wang Lu, although he also used 5 Pokémon, was undefeated. Even, apart from Haxorus being somewhat damaged, the other 4 Pokémon are almost all peak contest conditions. Hearing this, Ma Zishi's complexion was extremely ugly. The result made him, unable to refute, and there was still the last game left, so he could only fight with all his strength. "Reishu, it's time for you to play next." Reishu yelled and jumped onto the stage, his eyes were extremely sharp, the electric bag on his face flickered from time to time, and his spirit contest condition was perfect. Reishu. Attribute, Electricity. Level 78, Quasi-Elite. Qualification, Orange. This Reishu is Ma Zishi's favorite Pokémon, and its level is also the highest, higher than that of Ampharos before. Although this Reishu's bloodline strength is crushed by Ampharos, the overall strength is far inferior to Ampharos. But at least in terms of strength, it will never be inferior to Ampharos, and maybe even stronger. Reishu, let them see our strongest power, use thunder. With Ma Zishi's order, Reishu immediately cast heavy. The huge thunder and lightning smashed the ground all the way, carrying a violent power, and went straight to the opposite Big Red. Such a powerful thunder and lightning, even the ground-type Pokémon, I'm afraid they can't resist it. It's a pity that the speed was still a little slower, and I saw De Hong's figure flashed, and avoided it. Very good. Wang Lu gave a thumbs up and ordered, "Big Red, thunder strikes." Heard the words. Big Red turned into a red lightning again, and with a flash, he kicked Reishu fiercely. At this time, while Reishu was seriously injured, he also broke the defense seriously. Wang Lu ordered again, "Aim for its foothold, use Brick Break." Finished talking. I saw the bright red right wing emitting a strong white light, rushing out again like lightning, and the moment Reishu landed, 10 knives slashed on Swibai's body. Color. Corner. Reishu screamed, and his body flew out like a cannonball. Ma Zishi quickly jumped up to catch it, but he was thrown flying far away together, and then fell heavily to the ground. Looking at Reishu again, despite having Ma Zishi as a meat pad, he still passed out in a coma. "Come back, Big Red." Wang Lu took De Hong back, ignored Ma Zishi and Reishu, and walked straight forward. Zapdos. Strong red Zapdos. After Wang Lu walked away, Ma Zishi stared at Wang Lu's back and murmured. At this point, he was convinced of Big Red's Zapdos identity. After all, In his opinion, there is no need for such a powerful trainer as Wang Lu to lie. Since Wang Lu said it was Zapdos, it must be Zapdos. Sabrina, Koga, even you guys are definitely not this boy's rival. Boss, even you, I'm afraid, will fall into a hard fight. Wang Lu moved on and soon met a beautiful girl. It's a pity that she is too thin, and there is not much flesh on her body, especially in some important positions. Otherwise, it will be more perfect. Ma, is she lost to you? Handsome little brother, I hope you can bring me some surprises. Sabrina held a fan, covered her mouth with a smile, and immediately sent out Alakazam. Alakazam. Attribute, Psychic. Level 80, Elite. Qualification, Orange. It turned out to be an elite class. Glancing at the attribute panel of Alakazam, Wang Lu was surprised. However, looking at it, this Alakazam should be Sabrina's trump card. In this case, Wang Lu decisively sent Salamence to play. Roar! I saw that just after Salamence appeared on the stage, he raised his head to the sky and roared loudly. The momentum he showed immediately surprised Sabrina and Alakazam. Is this Flash Salamence? Sabrina's beautiful eyes widened, and she was full of splendor. Now she knows why Wang Lu can defeat Ma Zishi, and thus came here. Also at the elite level, the aura that Salamence is showing at the moment, compared to Alakazam, I don't know how much the next day. Unknowingly, Alakazam trembled all over. Even elite is so unbearable. Alakazam, use Psychic. Sabrina ordered. Heard the words. Alakazam immediately clenched the spoon in his hand and unleashed an extremely powerful Psychic. In an instant, Salamence was almost enveloped by a red light all over his body. This is the spirit of Alakazam. Alakazam gripped the spoon, controlled Psychic, and tried to lift Salamence up. However, Salamence's dual wing beat was startled, the surface of his body glowed red, and disappeared in smoke. Even Alakazam was backlashed by confusion, and couldn't help taking a step back with a look of horror on his face. Chapter 114. Salamence's Salation cracked a powerful skill of Alakazam with one move. The power disparity between the two sides is too great. This is more than just a surprise, it's almost astonish. Sabrina was dumbfounded. Salamence, use flamethrower. Wang Lu ordered. Heard the words. Salamence opened his mouth wide, and the flamethrower roared out. The fire was so strong that the ground didn't dare to block it. Teleport. Without Sabrina's command, Alakazam teleported directly and disappeared from the place. The location where Alakazam appeared again was already 3 meters away, but just as it appeared, another flamethrower roared towards it. Alakazam was horrified and quickly teleported away again. That's all. After teleporting 5 times in a row, Alakazam was already sweating profusely. Different from the game, in this reality, teleport consumes a lot of physical and mental energy. Once or twice is fine. But after 5 times in a row, even though Alakazam was in the elite state, he was still mentally weak and dizzy. 2. Compared with teleport, flamethrower does not consume much. With a swish sound, at this moment, Salamence sprayed out another red fire dragon, roaring towards it. Sabrina knew that Alakazam's physical and mental strength was no longer enough to use teleport, so she shouted, Alakazam, quickly use protect. The voice just fell. Alakazam immediately used Psychic to create a purple barrier in front of him. However, the red fire dragon smashed the barrier in an instant, and it pierced Alakazam fiercely without losing its power. Alakazam. Looking at the scene in front of her, Sabrina couldn't help being shocked. To know. In the case of Protect, as long as the strength of the two sides is not much different, it is an absolute defense. But now, Alakazam's Protect can't resist Salamence's attack. In other words, there is a huge gap in the strength of the two sides. When the flames dissipate, Sabrina couldn't help but widen her eyes. Alakazam was killed instantly with one move. Come back, Salamence. Seeing Sabrina standing there in a daze, not sending out a new Pokémon for a long time, Wang Lu knew that she had lost the ability to fight, so he took Salamence back and continued to move forward. Koga, boss, you have to be careful, the strength of this little brother is very extraordinary. After a while, Sabrina came back to her senses, stared at Wang Lu's back, and muttered to herself. Keep going. According to the small map of the copy, at this time, Wang Lu has arrived at the second half of the Viking Gym. Call out. A breaking wind sounded. Suddenly, a dart was shot out from the dark place ahead, and it shot straight towards Wang Lu's head. However, just as the dart approached Wang Lu, it was blocked by a blue barrier and fell to the ground with a ding-dong. Immediately, a figure came out from the dark place in front of him, talking eloquently, as expected of the trainer who defeated Ma Zishi and Sabrina. He really isn't a normal character. However, as soon as he finished speaking, the expression on his face instantly became extremely dignified, because Wang Lu had already sent an aura sphere instantly, blasting towards him fiercely. Aura sphere is so fast, it is a must-hit skill in the game. It is far from being comparable to the speed of darts. At this time, Koga had no time to dodge, gritted his teeth, and quickly crossed his arms to block. With a bang, the basketball-sized aura sphere exploded on Koga's chest. In an instant, Koga's arms were scorched black, and a wisp of white smoke rose thereupon. Bird Guide Brave. Staring at Wang Lu, Koga gritted his teeth, his face full of dignity. Among the rocket's 3 executives, Ma Zishi, Sabrina, and Koga, Koga is undoubtedly the most powerful one. The superficial identities of the first 2 are just gym owners in the Kanto region. As for Koga, in the early stage, it was the owner of the pavilion, and in the later stage, it was the elite of the poisonous system in Chengdu. When Koga first came here, he was strolling in the courtyard, as if he was a master, and wanted to take the opportunity to beat Wang Lu. As a result, I was slapped in the face by Wang Lu. This made him dare not underestimate Wang Lu anymore, and he sent 2 Pokémon out with 2 bang-bang sounds. A double egg gas, and a silver flash arbor. Double egg gas. Attribute, poison. Level 80, elite. Qualification, orange. Aber monster. Attribute, poison. Level 82, elite. Qualification, light gold. Go, Salamence. Glancing at the attribute panel of double egg gas and arbor monster, Wang Lu sent Salamence to play again. Koga dispatched 2 Pokémon at once, so this contest should be a doubles match. But Wang Lu doesn't care, he thinks that Salamence alone is enough. Humph, what an arrogant boy. Seeing that Wang Lu sent out only 1 Pokémon, Koga snorted coldly and said, double egg gas uses smoke, and Pokémon uses poison barb to attack. As soon as he finished speaking, the double egg gas released a large amount of black smoke, directly covering the arena. The entire field of play was completely lost in sight. In this haze, even double egg gas himself has no vision at all. In the whole audience, only the ABO monster still had a field of vision. Its eyes, no, compound eyes emitted white light, and it locked on Salamence's position in an instant. Immediately, with a sound of chot, it opened its mouth wide, spraying out a large amount of densely packed poison barb, showering normal, and crazily smashing towards the opposite Salamence. 0. Use Protect. In haze, Wang Lu ordered lightly. Next. Although there is no field of vision, both Wang Lu and Koga know that the poison barb shot by arbor has no effect. Abe, you can play freely now. Koga said calmly, looking very confident. Salamence, you can also express yourself freely. Wang Lu, however, is more confident than him. Bang bang bang. In haze, the sound of fighting sounded fiercely. Soon, haze dispersed. I saw that Salamence had already thrown the arbor monster down, and trampled the arbor monster under his feet with an indifferent face. What, this? Looking at the scene in front of him, Koga couldn't help being surprised, it was really unbelievable. But soon, he realized that he was so regretful that he wished he could slap himself in the face. How dare he show off his tricks in front of the brave Bakuo? Isn't this courting death? Ho! While Koga regretted, Salamence suddenly opened his mouth and sprayed out a red fire dragon, killing the double egg gas directly. Double egg gas! Koga froze straight away, watching Wang Lu retract Salamence and walking towards him. He was sweating profusely for a moment, and he didn't even dare to move. It wasn't until Wang Lu passed him by and walked away completely that he breathed a sigh of relief like Meng Day he was normal. Boss, this boy is too strong and dangerous, you have to be careful. Looking at Wang Lu's receding figure, Anan said. Chapter 115. At the end of the corridor is a huge stadium. The corridors are dark, but the stadium is radiant. At the end of the stadium, there is an upside-down sofa. There was a man with a cigar in his mouth, leaning on the sofa, with his back to Wang Lu. Deng. It wasn't until the sound of Wang Lu's steady footsteps that the man stood up, faced Wang Lu and walked a few steps forward. A Persian, also coming from the sofa, followed the man closely. There is no doubt that that man is the gym master of this Vicky Pan gym, and also the boss of Team Rocket, Giovanni. Papa. Giovanni applauded Wang Lu and said in a hoarse voice, "Young man, you are so powerful that you actually defeated my 3 most powerful subordinates." Giovanni had just finished speaking. On the far right of the stadium, a mechanism was triggered, and immediately Ma Zishi, Sabrina, and Koga appeared there at the same time, 623. Giovanni looked at Wang Lu, and continued, "Young man, I think with your strength, you can completely replace the 3 of them as my right-hand man. Are you interested?" "Boss." Ma Zishi, Sabrina, and Koga were taken aback. They were about to say something, but were interrupted by Giovanni. At this time, Giovanni just stared at Wang Lu, waiting for his answer. "Sorry, I'm not interested." Wang Lu shook his head lightly. For Wang Lu's answer, Giovanni was not surprised at all. He laughed and said, "After you see my strength and be defeated by me, I think you will be interested." "Say it." Giovanni pulls out a luxury ball and unleashes the first Pokémon. It was a ghost Pokémon, Gengar, always smiling and completely black. Gengar. Attribute, Ghost plus Poison. Level 80, Elite. Qualification, Orange. What a high level! Glancing at Gengar's attribute panel, Wang Lu couldn't help being taken aback. Giovanni is the final boss of this dungeon, so this should be a 6v6 full battle. But Wang Lu never expected that the first Pokémon sent by Giovanni would be directly elite level. Does this explain? Giovanni has 5 remaining Pokémon, all elite start? Interesting. Thinking of this, Wang Lu became a little excited, and at the same time, sent Salamence to appear. His Flash Salamence. Ma Zishi, one of the 3 executives, was shocked. Heard the words. Sabrina and Koga both gave him a blank stare, "And you're a piece of shit who knows? So, he didn't even use Salamence, so he defeated you? But they forgot that they themselves were all beaten by the flying dragon. Nice, very rare Pokémon." Looking at Salamence, Giovanni had some admiration in his eyes, and said with a smile, "So, what about the ability?" "Gengar, use Nightshade." As soon as Giovanni finished speaking, Gengar bared his teeth and immediately released a 3-foot-high phantom, rushing towards the opposite Salamence fiercely. "Use Protect." Wang Lu gave an order, and Salamence directly blocked the attack. Dragon God Dive. Heard the words. While releasing a powerful murderous aura to shock Gengar, Salamence carried a burst of berserk power. A phantom of a dragon god appeared on his body, and slammed towards Gengar viciously. "Use Destiny Bond." Giovanni ordered again. At this time, Gengar was overwhelmed by Salamence's murderous aura and was sweating profusely, but he was still an elite after all, so he wouldn't be completely petrified. At the last moment, Gengar's eyes glowed an eerie red and released Destiny Bond. Boom! Salamence's dragon god swooped down and hit Gengar hard, instantly killing him. At the same time, Salamence seemed to have been subjected to some kind of curse, and with a wail, his huge body fell heavily, stirring up smoke and dust in the sky. When the smoke clears, Salamence stood up again. At this time, Salamence was wounded all over his body, his breathing was weak, and it was obvious that he had suffered a great deal of damage. Atto. Seeing Salamence like this, Ma Zishi, Sabrina, and Koga, the 3 executives, are still surprised. "You know, Destiny Bond is a skill that will kill you all." Gengar seemed to fall down, but Salamence stood up again. "This Destiny Bond, indeed, is a skill of mutual destruction, but there is a prerequisite, that is, the level difference between the 2 parties cannot be too large. Salamence and Gengar are both elites, and their levels are not much different, or even exactly the same. But Salamence's aptitude and bloodline strength crush Gengar. Salamence's overall strength far surpasses Gengar's by many times. This is also a class. Because of this, even with Gengar's Destiny Bond curse, Salamence still hasn't fallen. Papa Papa! The applause sounded. Giovanni looked at Salamence, and praised, as expected of Flash quasi-god, even if he is also an elite, his strength is far above Gengar. Finished talking. Giovanni also sent his second Pokémon, Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen. Attribute, Ground plus Poison. Level 80, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Nidoqueen, Surf. Following Giovanni's order, Nidoqueen rides the waves, stepping on the waves, carrying the monstrous waves, from top to bottom, and ruthlessly rushes towards Salamence below. This range is really too big. Even if Salamence's speed is against the sky, it is absolutely impossible to dodge. In that case, use Dragon Breath. Wang Lu ordered. Roar. Heard the words. Salamence let out a loud roar, opened his mouth and ejected a jet of black dragon breath, and then normal directly penetrated the waves and instantly killed Nidoqueen. But at the same time, it couldn't stop the waves from rushing down. Boom! The huge waves smashed into the ground, the momentum was shocking. Fortunately, this stadium is huge enough. Wang Lu, Giovanni, including Mazishi, Sabrina, and Koga, were not affected. Soon, the tide will recede. I saw that Salamence and Nidoqueen fell to the ground at the same time, both of them lost their ability to fight. Come back, Salamence! Wang Lu and 5.7 Giovanni took back the Pokémon at the same time. Salamence wears 1 and 2, and in general, it still gives Wang Lu a great advantage. What a terrible Salamence! 1 wears 2, and he actually defeated the boss 2 Pokémon. Mazishi was shocked. When Wang Lu fights with him, he sends out Salamence. That picture was so beautiful that Mazishi couldn't help sweating profusely, and immediately stopped imagining it. This is just the beginning, you and I are very clear about how terrifying the boss's strength is. Koga glanced at Wang Lu and said with a smile, I just don't know if this boy will bring us some surprises in the future. Mazishi looked solemn and said, he still has a Zapdos, a red Zapdos. Red Zapdos? Flash. Hearing this, Sabrina and Koga were shocked. Chapter 116. Not Flash. Mazishi shook his head and said, that kid said it was Zapdos from Galar region, I wonder if it's true. Galar region. Sabrina, Koga was startled when he heard the words, and nodded immediately. It turned out to be fighting Zapdos. Clearly, these two are very knowledgeable and aware of the existence of fighting Zapdos. Then there will be a good show. Sabrina, Koga couldn't help but looked at Wang Lu again, with anticipation flashing in his eyes. Old man, I will trouble you next. Giovanni looked at Persian beside him, who nodded and jumped onto the stage. This is the third Pokémon, Persian, sent by Giovanni. Persian. Attribute, Normal. Level 88, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Go, Aiken. Wang Lu followed suit with a second Pokémon. Aiken, Flash Totem Beedrill. Die. With the appearance of Aiken, Mazishi, Sabrina, and Koga were all taken aback. Even Giovanni, who has always been calm, couldn't help but be amazed by his eyes at this moment. Flash 04 Totem Beedrill. It's just perfect, it's Mew, especially for Giovanni. Drill's words. Giovanni also has one, which is his original Pokémon, and has been with him ever since. In recent years, he has been busy with business, but he has not neglected the cultivation of Beedrill at all. Beedrill, without a doubt his most powerful and trustworthy trump card, is currently over level 90, reaching the champion level. But Giovanni knows that his Beedrill is strong but its potential has been exhausted, and it is difficult to improve further. And Wang Lu's Aiken. Flash Totem. It's like the Beedrill of Mew, its potential is limitless. Persian, Giga Impact. The boss of Giovanni directly pulls the full force, Giga Impact and other big moves, but his tone is so flat. I don't know, I thought he was talking about ordinary impact tricks. Meow. Finished talking. Boss Meow roared wildly, his whole body flashed with golden light, carrying a violent power, and rushed towards Aiken like lightning. Double team. Wang Lu also ordered lightly. In an instant, Aiken split into dozens of avatars, appearing in various places of the stadium. Persian completely lost his attack target and could only stop Giga Impact. At this time, Giovanni ordered decisively, Thunderbolt, aim at all Beedrills. All of a sudden, thunder roared. Wang Lu also ordered at the same time, Akin, use string shot. String shot? Beedrill, do you still have this skill? Hearing the order from Wang Lu, Yin Yajing, Ma Zishi, Sabrina, and Koga were all startled. Skills as strong as Beedrill and string shot are not needed at all, right? There was a boom, lightning, and thunder. I saw that Persian fired a thunderbolt and directly crushed all of Akin's clones. Even Akin suffered heavy blows and suffered heavy losses. This Persian, Turao, is also elite. And the level is extremely high, reaching level 88, which can be regarded as the existence of the late elite, and its attack power is also extremely powerful. As for Beedrill, it is like Haxorus normal, with extremely strong attack power and explosive power, but its frankness is quite normal. Beedrill is even crispier than Haxorus, and is much more crispy. Wang Lu's Akin is very talented. All round, no dead angle, crushing the same level, already like Beedrill. If, instead of Akin, normal Beedrill had accepted Persian's thunderbolt move, it would have been instantly killed. Swoosh swish. That's when Persian hit Akin with a thunderbolt. On the stadium, especially around Persian, there is a frantic surge of energy from the Department of Energy. In an instant, strands of strong white silk suddenly appeared, with lightning speed, 360 degrees without dead ends, instantly wrapping Persian layer by layer. Duan. In the blink of an eye, Persian turned into a huge cocoon and fell to the ground. Is this a string shot? The always calm and steady boss Giovanni opened his eyes wide for the first time, full of shock and disbelief. Damn it! It's just a string shot, there's such a terrifying way to show it. 360 degrees, no dead ends to block. What's even more frightening is that there is no trace of release, and no attack trajectory, which means that it is impossible to dodge. Absolute control. Ma Zishi, Sabrina, Koga, were all shocked too. Staring at Akin, their eyes were full of horror. If such a Beedrill grows up, wouldn't it be against the sky? Bang bang bang! At this time, the silkworm cocoon began to shrink, bit by bit, tightening. Although the range was very small, the progress was very slow. However, it still made Persian in the cocoon miserable. It started to struggle crazily, but it was a pity that it was inside the cocoon, so its strength could not be fully displayed. On the silkworm cocoons, there were big bulges constantly bulging, but they quickly returned to their original shape. It seems that it will not be destroyed so easily. Akin, after focus energy, use Twineedle to attack. Wang Lu ordered. The words fell. Akin started focus energy, and in just one breath, it completed focus energy. At this moment, its eyes became very sharp, and its spirit became extremely concentrated. Next, the probability of its critical strike will be greatly increased. Whoosh! The golden wings on Akin's back trembled, pulling out golden after images, flashing towards him. I saw it suddenly raised the golden spear, like a machine gun normal, stabbing 510 towards the silkworm cocoon. Bang bang bang! For a moment, the silkworm cocoon was pierced with hundreds of holes, and Persian's painful screams continued to be heard from inside. Soon, the cocoon was overwhelmed and burst open, but Persian had already collapsed and passed out completely. Absolute control plus continuous crit, what a perfect combination! Giovanni's eyes brightened, looking at Wang Lu and Akin, his eyes were full of appreciation. How good would it be if such a talent could be used by him? All the beasts in the world will tremble for it. In the end, the rocket's business grew bigger and bigger until they ruled the world. You will be interested. After seeing it, after seeing the great power of it that surpasses everything, you will definitely be interested in following me. Staring at Wang Lu with piercing eyes, Giovanni thought to himself. This young man, what a terrifying strength, even in the face of the boss, he still has the upper hand. Staring at Wang Lu, Atian was shocked. He had great admiration for Giovanni. In his eyes, Giovanni is the trainer of world's mightiest. But now, Wang Lu actually suppressed Giovanni. So handsome, so powerful little brother, I hope the boss can subdue him. If that's the case, I can meet him every day. Sabrina stared closely at Wang Lu with her beautiful eyes, and said foolishly. Chapter 117. Are you a nympho? Ma Zishi and Koga stared at Sabrina, speechless. At this point, Giovanni had lost 3 Pokémon. As for Wang Lu, he only lost 1 Salamence, and currently, Aiken is still on the field. Judging from the situation, Wang Lu now has an overwhelming advantage. Go ahead, Sting B. The fourth Pokémon, Giovanni directly sent out trump card Beedrill. Drill. Attribute, Insect plus Poison. Level 92, Champion. Qualification, Orange. Giovanni's Beedrill looks ordinary, slightly larger than the normal Beedrill, but compared with Wang Lu's Aiken, it is too thin. Sometimes, talent, qualifications, and bloodline strength are like containers, while level is quality. Suppose that the container of Giovanni's Beedrill is a large tank 1 meter deep, which is filled first with water, then with stones, and finally with sand. Now, it is almost full of sand and has basically reached its peak. The room for improvement is too small. Wang Lu's Aiken, at the beginning, was a 2 meter deep tank. How can this compare? Even though Aiken's large tank has just been filled with water and started to contain stones, the overall strength is not weaker than Giovanni's Beedrill. Not to mention, Aiken's life has just begun, and it still has huge potential to be tapped. It's really no comparison. I'll be shocked when I compare it. That golden Beedrill has such a perfect physique, it's twice as tall as the boss's Beedrill. At this time, Ma Zishi, Sabrina, and Koga looked at Aiken with shock in their eyes. It's indeed perfect, but potential is just potential after all, so what about real strength? Giovanni smiled faintly, waved his hand, and ordered, Beedrill, use the stinger. As soon as Giovanni finished speaking, Beedrill spontaneously used agility and flew out with a buzz sound. At the same time, I saw purple venom emerging from its 2 spears, carrying toxic, and attacked Aiken fiercely. Use Twineedle to attack. Wang Lu ordered at the same time. I saw that Aiken's 2 golden spears were emitting more intense golden light, and they also carried powerful power, attacking Beedrill on the opposite side. Bang bang bang! One big and one small, 2 Beedrills fought in the air, with numerous after-images. A pair of purple spears collided crazily with a pair of obviously larger golden spears, causing ember to fly everywhere. Such a fierce collision! The eyes of Ma Zishi, Sabrina, and Koga moved quickly left and right, dizzying. In my heart, I was also shocked. Those 2 Beedrills are so powerful, any one of them can almost defeat them. Giovanni's Beedrill is indeed a championship-level Pokémon. Not only is it powerful, but it also has extremely rich combat experience. In the end, Aiken was knocked away far away with one shot. Aiken fainted instantly and was defeated. At the same time, I saw that the purple venom on Giovanni's Beedrill and the pair of spears faded away and returned to silvery white color. Then there was a click and both of them broke. Nanny! Giovanni's pupils couldn't help but shrink. At this time, Beedrill was not only injured all over his body, but even his breath was very weak. This shows that it has tried its best to defeat Aiken. Now, the 2 spears were both broken. Basically, it has lost its ability to fight. Come back, Beedrill, and get some rest. Just when Wang Lu took back Aiken, Giovanni also took back Beedrill. You know, it's a gym competition now. As the gym leader, Giovanni is not allowed to change Pokémon midway. Now, by taking back Beedrill, he has acquiesced that Beedrill has lost its ability to fight. So at this point, Yumo has lost 4 Pokémon. As for Wang Lu, he only lost 2. It's your turn next, Bagosaurus. Giovanni immediately sent out his 5th Pokémon, a marsupial, a purple marsupial, Flash Pokémon. Hybridosaurus. Level 85, Elite. Qualification, Light Gold. This marsupial's level is not as good as Beedrill's, but its aura is comparable to Beedrill's. After all, it is a Flash Pokémon, and its bloodline strength is higher than that of Beedrill. Even if its level lags behind, its true strength will never be inferior to Beedrill. Dahong, prepare to fight. Wang Lu also sent out his 3rd Pokémon. This Giovanni's Pokémon is of a really high level, and its key qualifications are not low either. Especially this marsupial, it is actually a Flash Marsupial, a golden epic. Wang Lu's normal Pokémon can't be dealt with at all, so he can only send legendaries to play. Zapdos? Zapdos in the Galar region. Looking at Dahong, Giovanni's eyes were dull for a moment, and then he took a deep look at Wang Lu. Front. Whether it's Flash Salamence or Flash Totem Beedrill. Although he was surprised, he could still accept it. But Zapdos is a real legendary Pokémon, which has a completely different meaning. You know, a mere Pokeball cannot control the mythical beast at all, unless the mythical beast actively follows. And trainers who own mythical beasts are legendary trainers, and each of them is not a simple character. Even though he is as strong as Giovanni, he must be respected. Is this Zapdos from the Galar region? Looking at Dahong, Sabrina and Koga were also extremely shocked. At this time, Mazishi opened his mouth wide and shouted at Giovanni, "Boss, be careful, that Zapdos has extremely powerful power." "I know." Giovanni nodded cautiously. Not only does he know that fighting Zapdos has great power, he also knows that fighting Zapdos has the Mega Kick Thunderous Kick. As mentioned earlier, no one may know about Thunderous Kick, which refers to the real world, because, How to Zhao, the Galar region does not exist in the real world, and fighting Zapdos whereabouts are not fixed, which makes it even more rare. In the original world, fighting Zapdos is Zapdos in Galar, the Crown Snowfield. Its location is relatively fixed. It is normal for people to find out the details for countless years. Thunderous Kick. Wang Lu ordered. Freeze Punch. When the red lightning turned into red and attacked, Giovanni gave the order at the same time. With a bang sound, two powerful energies collided fiercely. The marsupial dragon gritted his teeth and took half a step back. However, Dahong's words flew out like normal cannonballs, and then fell heavily to the ground, causing heavy losses. Bagosaurus and Dahong, there is a huge difference in power between the two. It is truly an epic elite. Wang Lu was not surprised at all by this result, but he was not discouraged. After all, as long as there is Thunderous Kick, Big Red will become stronger as the battle progresses, while the opponent will only become weaker and weaker. Chapter 118. After falling heavily, Dahong got up again. It stared at the bag dragon on the opposite side, and the fighting spirit in its eyes became even more vigorous. "Very good, Dahong, show your fighting spirit and use the strongest Thunderous Kick." Wang Lu punched out. For Giovanni, it has been a long time since he has met a rival who is as strong as Wang Lu. At this moment, he couldn't help but his blood boiled. "Yulong, we also use the most powerful freezing fist." The two forces collided, and Dahong flew out again. But soon, it climbed up tenaciously. This is Big Red, fighting Zapdos, born with a spirit of not admitting defeat. Of course, as a legend, it has exceptionally strong physical strength, which to a certain extent gives it the capital to refuse to admit defeat. Otherwise, it would have fallen. But this time, the effect of its Thunderous Kick is also extremely impressive, making the bag dragon retreat several steps in a row. A painful expression appeared on his face for the first time. "Young man, because of you, I have experienced youth that I haven't seen for a long time, but now, it's time to end." Giovanni shook his wrist, and at this moment, the ring on his left ring finger suddenly emitted a dazzling white light. "Pyramidosaurus, Mega Evolution." As soon as he finished speaking, a white light appeared on the body of the marsupial dragon. It was originally unable to evolve, but it evolved again. This is Mega Evolution. When the white light dissipated, a taller and stronger mother dragon appeared. 503. Why is the bag dragon mother? Because all bag dragons are female, there is no male bag dragon. Go through Mega Evolution. Not only did the mother Dilakurus become taller and stronger, but even the baby in her pouch grew instantly and became a reliable helper. Parent-child love is the only ability of Mega Marsupial. And the Pokémon with this ability, parent and child, can attack at the same time. Mega Bag Dragon. Attribute, Normal. Level 85, Elite. Qualification, Gold. Really? After Mega Evolution, the Bag Dragon became a Mega Bag Dragon, and its bloodline strength was temporarily raised to the level of the Golden Legend, which is not inferior to the Big Red. Not to mention, its level far surpasses Dahong. Giovanni deserves to be Giovanni, Mega Evolution, just as easily. In fact, he not only owns the Mega Evolution Stone of Dilakurus, but also the Mega Evolution Stone of Beedrill. It's a pity that Drill's two long spears have been broken and cannot be restored in a short time. In other words, he has been unable to demonstrate Drill's Mega Evolution. Facing the mighty Wang Lu and the brave Dahong, he no longer dared to hold back, so he decided to use the Mega Evolution of the dragon. "Humph, even if it's Mega Evolution, the defense that has been greatly weakened cannot be recovered. Wang Lu snorted coldly. He was very sure that the Mega Bag Dragon at this time, strong is stronger, but it is still a crispy skin, and it is still a Mega Crispy Skin, Big Red, Thunderous Kick. Bag Dragon, Frozen Punch. As soon as Giovanni finished speaking, the Mega Bag Dragon, including the strengthened Baby Bag Dragon, moved forward at the same time, and at the same time used the freezing fist to blast towards Dahong fiercely. Boom! 2 shares. F. This time, 3 powerful forces collided fiercely, producing a huge explosion, and smoke and dust swayed subsequently. Waves of wind and waves swept out in all directions like shock waves. So strong! Who wins and who loses? Looking at the scene in front of them, Ma Zishi, Sabrina, and Koga were all extremely shocked. Soon, the smoke and dust dispersed. I saw that Dahong had already fallen to the ground, completely unconscious. On the other hand, the Mega Bagosaurus and Baby Bagosaurus, although covered with scars all over their bodies, are still full of fighting spirit. Big Red lost. But what it loses is not its momentum or fighting spirit, but its level. The level difference between the two sides is still too big. Come back Dahong, you have performed well. Wang Lu took Dahong back and took out the forest ball. Yes, Giovanni's strength was too strong, and Wang Lu had to use the legend continuously, go, Celebi. Compare. There was a flash of white light, and Celebi was seen dancing happily around Wang Lu before entering the arena. With its lively and cute appearance, it is hard to believe that it is actually the god of the forest with extremely powerful power. What? Celebi. This time. Looking at Celebi, Giovanni, Ma Zishi, Sabrina, and Koga on the Wang Lu court, these 4 people were all shocked, and their eyes were full of disbelief. Fighting Zapdos. He owns a legendary Pokémon, so forget it. Unexpectedly, he actually owned 2 at the same time? How can this be? The legendary Pokémon, the mythical beast, how arrogant is it? How can it be? 2 mythical beasts are actually willing to follow the same trainer? Who exactly is this young man? This young man is so unbelievable. If he is not a comrade, he must be the most powerful enemy. Little brother, you are so handsome. He is even more handsome than the boss. Ma Zishi, Koga, and Sabrina all sighed. Looking at Sabrina's nymphomaniac face, both Shida and Koga couldn't help but twitch the corners of their mouths. Sabrina, how cold and beautiful she is on weekdays. Today, facing Wang Lu, he turned out to be so mean. Celebi, leaf storm. Wang Lu ordered. A huge leaf storm roared out. Megabagosaurus is okay and has no fear on his face. But when the baby marsupial looked at the huge leaf storm, its hands and feet became weak and its whole body began to tremble. Seeing this, Megamarsupialus gritted his teeth and quickly protected the baby Marsupialosaurus behind him, trying his best to resist leaf storm. Boom! Leaf storm swept past wildly, and Megamarsupial collapsed. With a flash of white light, the Megabagosaurus turned back into a Bagosaurus again, and the baby Bagosaurus also changed back to its original state, and very scared, it burrowed into the mother's pouch. At this point, Giovanni has lost 5 Pokémon. Only the last one left. And just when the Megabagosaurus fell, a stone containing powerful energy exploded. And that stone is probably the Mega Evolution Stone of the Pagodontosaurus. Beedrill, the Bagosaurus have all fallen. This time, the boss didn't let them make the final appearance. Could it be? Koga frowned and murmured to himself, suddenly thinking of something, his eyes were filled with fear. Is it the finale? Ma Zishi and Sabrina also reacted instantly, and their whole bodies could not help but shudder. No. Boss. Don't. Have you forgotten its terrifying power? Boss, even you can't control it. It's just a monster. A devil. Ma Zishi, Sabrina, and Koga looked extremely frightened and frantically tried to persuade Banbati. However, Giovanni smiled, don't worry, I'm confident I can control it. After that, he took out a Master Ball and released the Pokémon inside. PS, settings, each Pokémon can only carry 1 item at most, but it does not have to be worn on the body. For example, the Bagosaurus Mega Evolution just now must have carried the Mega Evolution Stone, but it was placed directly in the carrying space and was not worn on the body. The Mega Evolution Stone is extremely expensive. If you wear it on your body, you can show off. But I feel that big guys like Giovanni don't even bother to pretend to be this cool. Chapter 119. White light flashed. A mysterious Pokémon that stands in the shape of a human and looks very strong, but wearing a helmet and a mask, appeared on Giovanni's arena. Mewtwo. That Pokémon may not be recognized by others, but how could Wang Lu not recognize it? At the moment, his eyes were fixed, and he swept towards Mewtwo. Mewtwo. Attribute, Psychic. Level 90, Championship. Qualification, Jokei Mythology. 9-colored myth. Wang Lu was shocked. At the beginning, the qualifications of the system were white, green, blue, purple, orange, gold and rainbow colors. Gold is also subdivided into light gold and gold, representing epics and legends respectively. And the rainbow color represents mythology, almost the highest level of existence. The system said that day, it seems to be a 7-color rainbow, not a 9-color rainbow. It can be seen from this. Even the system believes that among the first-level gods, Mewtwo is the only existence, so it set up a higher level 9-color rainbow. Apart from Mewtwo, the only ones who can have this 9-color rainbow are Alpaca and Wu Ji Tai. Seeing the astonishment in Wang Lu's eyes, Giovanni couldn't help laughing. How about a boy? Surprised, this is a Pokémon you've never seen before. Because, this Pokémon was created by me. Its name is Mewtwo, and I created it with Mew's genes, as the strongest Pokémon in the universe that passes through Mew. I is its father. And you will also see its great power that surpasses the entire universe. The more Giovanni talked, the more excited he became. I don't know why, but he wants to prove himself so much that Wang Lu is convinced and completely loyal to him. Oh, is it? Regarding Giovanni's view of Mewtwo as the strongest Pokémon in the universe, Wang Lu was non-committal, but he wanted to laugh at Giovanni's other point of view. You said, Mewtwo is a Pokémon created by you, and you are its father. In this case, why do you use those devices to restrict its freedom, and even control its mind? Wang Lu pointed to the black helmet on Mewtwo's head and the black mask on his face, and asked Giovanni. Hearing this, Giovanni's expression sank. At this moment, Wang Lu's question is exactly the pain in his heart. In his opinion, Mewtwo is indeed the strongest Pokémon in the universe, and it is indeed the Pokémon he created. He is qualified to be Mewtwo's father. Perhaps because Mewtwo is the strongest, it has a unique thinking and arrogance, it will never surrender to humans easily. Even he, Giovanni, father of Mewtwo, couldn't really get over it. If he didn't wear those high-tech devices capable of controlling people's minds on Mewtwo, Mewtwo might have escaped long ago. Master Ball? This thing may be useful to other level 1 gods, but it's useless to Mewtwo at all. If Mewtwo wanted, it could even create a Dusk Ball that is far more awesome than the Master Ball. After a moment of silence, Giovanni suddenly smiled. Giovanni, why should he be angry with a boy? Young man, you are right. I really can't really control it. However, I have its power, it is enough. Having the strongest power in the universe, our Team Rocket will definitely be able to control the entire world. Staring at Wang Lu, Giovanni laughed uncontrollably. You are wrong. A machine without independent thinking and emotion, even if it has the strongest power, cannot become the strongest. Wang Lu sneered, took Celebi back, and took out an insulating ball. What's more, in my opinion, it may not have the strongest power now. Go ahead, Zapdos. Clang. A thunderous chirping growl rings out. Looking at Wang Lu on the court, the whole body saffron, Zapdos, Giovanni, Mazishi, Sabrina, Koga, the thunder and lightning, these 4 people were all shocked and stunned. Zapdos. The 3rd legendary Pokémon. What is this kid? Staring at Zapdos, Giovanni's face became more solemn than ever. Oh my god, my little brother is too powerful, fighting Zapdos, Celebi, Zapdos, how many legendary Pokémon does he own? Looking at Wang Lu, looking at Zapdos on Wang Lu's field, for a while, Sabrina's gaze became fascinated. Unbelievable. At this time, Mazishi and Koga were also extremely shocked. Zapdos, Golden Legend, level 100 Master. Mewtwo, 9-colored myth, level 90 Champion. Zapdos, Thunderbolt. Wang Lu said suddenly with a wave of his hand. Facing Mutuo, a strong fighting spirit emerged in Wang Lu's heart involuntarily. At this moment, his spirit became extremely concentrated. And Zapdos, the same. At this moment, one person and one beast seemed to be fused into one. Empathy. You must know that Wang Lu does not have the so-called Thunder God's power at this time, and he has no extra affinity and extra intimacy bonus for Zapdos. But now, facing the powerful enemy Mutuo, Wang Lu and trump card Zapdos have created an unprecedented strong bond, and they have also reached the realm of spiritual connection. Pity, no Zapdos Mega Evolution Stone. Otherwise, go straight to Mega Evolution. Boom. Following Wang Lu's order, Zapdos spread his wings and flew out. At the same time, he released a bolt of lightning, fast and accurate, and slashed towards Mutuo fiercely. Block it, Mutuo. It seemed to be driven by the emotions of Wang Lu and Zapdos. At this time, Giovanni was also extremely excited and couldn't help shouting. Heard the words. In Mutuo's black helmet, a red light flashed. Immediately, Mutuo directly stretched out a hand, instantly creating a blue barrier, completely blocking that incomparably huge lightning bolt. If normal Mutuo. At this moment, while it is blocking the opponent's attack, it will definitely attack, or aura sphere, or confusion, or any other trick, it can be. Mutuo at this moment is not a normal Mutuo. Maybe the power is just as strong. However, the current one is just a machine without emotion and independent thinking. Even. Just a poor puppet with great power. Snort. Giovanni seemed dissatisfied with Mutuo's failure to fight back, and snorted coldly. To no rival is the legendary Zapdos, facing such a powerful enemy, if Mutuo requires him to command every action, it would be too passive. However, he seems to have forgotten. The reason why Mutuo became what it is now is all caused by him. Chapter 120. Giovanni. He was afraid that if he reduced his control power, Mutuo would immediately regain his independent thinking, destroy the device in an instant, and disappear without a trace. Precisely because he is afraid, he worries. That's why Mutuo, who was originally extremely powerful, is now like a puppet normal. Aura Sphere. With Giovanni's order, Mutuo instantly launched an aura sphere, which slammed towards Zapdos fiercely. However, Zapdos easily avoided it with a flash. Mutuo stopped again. You know, the higher the level, the faster the fighting rhythm. High-level Pokémon, their proficiency in various skills is really too high, and various combination skills and continuous skills are easy to come by. If the trainer orders a flamethrower, they will tend to use the flamethrower continuously until the hit is positive. And now Mutuo. If it wasn't for its powerful 090, it wouldn't even be as good as a lowly Pokémon. Hateful. Looking at the dull Mutuo, Giovanni's expression sank. He can't wait to detonate the device on Mutuo, and then have a good fight with Wang Lu and Zapdos. After all, he hasn't met such a decent rival for a long time. However, reason told him that he couldn't do that. Once you do that, Mutuo instantly betrays. Then he wants Team Rocket to control the world's wilderness, and it's nowhere in sight. Also related to rival being Zapdos, Mutuo could end it in one hit if it was just a normal Pokémon. Giovanni sighed secretly. Before that, he never thought that rival would be a Zapdos, and it was also an extremely powerful Zapdos. Thinking of this, he became more and more appreciative of Wang Lu. After all, Wang Lu is already a legendary trainer at such a young age, it is hard to imagine what the future holds. Zapdos, you're welcome, attack with all your strength, use ancient power. At this time, after a short fight, Zapdos deeply disdains Mutuo. Right. Disdain. It could sense that Mutuo's power was strong, perhaps even greater than it. However, as a divine bird, it also has arrogance. It has no interest in a puppet at all. But now that Wang Lu opened his mouth, it regained its spirits, spit out silver beams of light from its mouth, and blasted towards Mutuo viciously continuously. Mutuo, block it! Giovanni ordered. Mutuo stretched out his hand and easily blocked the next attack. However, it also only blocked once. The powerful ancient power, trained normal, and continuously shot towards Mutuo crazily. Boom boom boom! Horrible explosions sounded, and the smoke and dust rose 3 feet. Ancient power, attack with ancient power, sometimes it will improve all your abilities. At the same time, on Zapdos, streaks of golden light flashed. For a moment, its strength, defense, speed, and momentum all increased accordingly. At this moment, Zapdos' aura became extremely terrifying, like a wild beast, completely surpassing Mewtwo. And it is still far beyond, crushing. Soon, the smoke and dust dissipated. I saw that Mewtwo was already covered with many scars. It's a pity that the current it doesn't even have a basic sense of pain. The last blow, use the most powerful thunder. Following Wang Lu's order, Zapdos instantly cast thunder. All I saw was a violent thunderbolt as thick as a water tank, descending from the sky, and ruthlessly bombarded Mewtwo's body. This blow directly knocked Mewtwo down. Giovanni looked grim. Mazishi, Sabrina, and Koga were stunned. Although this battle is far from exciting. However, they still experienced the terrifying power of Zapdos. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully clearing the level of Changpan Gymnasium and Reward Master Ball. As the system notification sounded in his ear, Wang Lu smiled slightly. Master Ball, here it is. Ka ka ka. At this time, I saw Mewtwo's helmet, including the black mask on his face, suddenly cracked. In an instant, Giovanni, Mazishi, Sabrina, Koga, were shocked at the same time. With a bang, the helmet and mask exploded completely. At the same time, Mewtwo stood up and showed his true colors. However, its eyes are red. Mewtwo suddenly raised his hand, and the majesty of the super divine beast was overwhelming. For a moment, Mazishi, Sabrina, and Koga were all trembling. Even Giovanni looked at Mewtwo with apprehension on his face. Clang! Zapdos was eager to protect the Lord, and flew down instantly, spreading his wings with all his strength to block Wang Lu behind him. Zato! Mewtwo didn't attack anyone, but aimed at the ceiling, directly punching a huge hole in the ceiling, pouring down the dazzling eyes. And Mewtwo also took off instantly, and disappeared without a trace in the blink of an eye. Mewtwo! Giovanni stretched out his hand and shouted, but it was useless. Mewtwo has already flown to an unknown place. And, even if Mewtwo hears it, they won't look back. Quick, hurry up! Whatever it takes, grab Mewtwo! Giovanni gave an order, and the rockets went up and down, and almost the whole army was dispatched. In an instant, Giovanni, Mazishi, Sabrina, and Akuo also disappeared without a trace. In the entire gymnasium, or in other words, the entire instance, only Wang Lu remained. Wang Lu stepped forward and picked up the stone that the Mega Bag Dragon exploded before. Sure enough, Mega Evolution Stone. Bag Dragon Evolution Stone, carried by a Bag Dragon, it can Mega Evolution. As Wang Lu successfully cleared Changpan Gym, the next instance will also be opened. It's called Island of Mewtwo, Challenge Conditions, a city level or higher championship trophy. Is there a championship trophy at or above the city level? Wang Lu stroked his chin. In 1 more month, close to 2 months, the Alliance Conference in the southern region will open. Not to mention that Wang Lu hasn't accumulated all 8 badges yet, even if he has, this time is too far away. At the municipal level, the annual Youth Cup in Xianyuan City seems to be opening in a few days. Okay, this is 5.2. Wang Lu directly lock on the target. As for the entry requirements for the Xianyuan Youth Cup, 2 badges are enough. Wang Lu is satisfied and can sign up at any time. After exiting the dungeon, Wang Lu entered the Huayanshan dungeon again, releasing Moltres and Rapidash. Moltres, Golden Legend, level 50 Elite. Rapidash, Golden Epic, level 48 Elite. At present, the level of the two is too low, far below the average level of Wang Lu's current lineup. Wang Lu didn't need them for the time being, so he kept them in the Flame Mountain, allowing them to move freely and upgrade freely. Anyway, for them, the Flaming Mountain happened to be their favorite environment. Okay, good boy, I'll pick you up in a few days. After Wang Lu comforted them, Moltres and Rapidash left in peace. Chapter 121. Thief. After arranging Moltres and Rapidash, Wang Lu returned to the hotel to wash up, and fell asleep after a while. It was a few hours later. At about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, Wang Lu suddenly woke up from his sleep. With 3 kinds of divine protection, Wang Lu's life level is already different from that of ordinary human beings. It is no exaggeration to say that he is a humanoid monster. His 5 senses, including his sense of danger, are extremely keen. Immediately, it was discovered that someone was outside the door, and was using some means to spy on him. Wang Lu is bold, so he is not in a hurry to act, but continues to pretend to be asleep, wanting to see what that guy outside wants to do. That guy is really cautious. It took a full 10 minutes to open the door and come in, one person, 2 Pokémon. Exactly. It should be a wretched man in his 20s, wearing a night suit, and 2 Pokémon. One is Apom and the other is Sulub. One person and 2 beasts, the movement is extremely slight. Except for a little sound when the lock was unlocked, there was no more sound. Very professional. At first glance, it is a thief, and it is not a normal 04 thief, but a habitual criminal. Go. Immediately afterwards. Under the signal of the thieves, Apom moved cautiously towards Wang Lu who was lying on the bed, without making a single sound along the way. After a while, Apom came to Wang Lu's side, walked around, and finally found the 10 belts with small poke balls hanging on Wang Lu's pillow. Apom couldn't help being overjoyed, and was just about to reach out to grab it. Unexpectedly, a hand suddenly stretched out from the darkness, one step ahead of it, and grabbed the belt. At the same time, Wang Lu also turned on the light, sat up against the bedside table, and looked at the Apom with a half-smile expression. Squeak! Apom was taken aback for a moment, and backed away again and again. Sulub. When such an accident happened, the thief was still very calm. It can only be said that he deserves to be a repeat offender. Immediately afterwards, the thief rang a bell and gave an order to Sulub. Sulub immediately understood, facing Wang Lu, waved his hands strangely, this is hypnosis. FRT. A trace of sleepiness emerged in Wang Lu's heart. But who is Wang Lu? In the pupil, a fire burst out directly, instantly burning away the trace of sleepiness. What? Bright flames burst out of the human pupils? The thief was taken aback, his body trembling slightly, looked at Wang Lu, and said in amazement, You are definitely not an ordinary human. To this, Wang Lu just smiled, and skillfully took off Blastoise's luxury ball, enlarged it in his hand, and threw it out in a rotating manner. With a bang, white light flashed, and Totem Blastoise appeared on the stage. Kami. Blastoise's huge physique, at this moment, is like a hill normal, bringing the thieves and the 2-tailed monster, Sulub unimaginable enormous pressure. Totem Blastoise! Totem Blastoise! The thief trembled with fear. For a moment, the advice of the benefactor also echoed in his ears. Be careful, he is very powerful. Duh. At that time, he answered the benefactor like this, Haha, young Master Jean, don't worry, no matter how strong he is, he will still sleep like a dead pig with me. And now, he has to pay the price for his arrogance. It's too late to regret. Blastoise, hydro pump. For this kind of person, Wang Lu showed no mercy and ordered coldly. Immediately, Blastoise shot 2 huge high-pressure hydro pumps from behind, and blasted the thief and Sulub fiercely. That powerful force directly pushed them backwards and flew out, and with a bang, they directly penetrated a wall. And the wall that will face the room is also almost penetrated. One person and one beast are almost embedded in the wall. Sulub has already passed out. And the thief also suffered from internal injuries, with sheep blood spilling out of his mouth and roaring loudly. Seeing him like that, Wang Lu didn't have the slightest sympathy. If it wasn't for the existence of laws in this world, Wang Lu wouldn't mind sending him away directly. Such a huge movement immediately attracted the passengers who were staying in the hotel together, pointing and pointing. Wang Lu, are you okay? Mirong Shui was also wearing a cute pink pajamas, with her hair loose, hurried over and came to Wang Lu's side, concerned about the problem. Gently sniffing the fragrance from Mirong Shui's body, Wang Lu smiled lightly, it's okay, what can I do? Not for a while. The hotel manager rushed over in a hurry, and saw him nodding and bowing, and kept apologizing to Wang Lu. This is a high-end hotel, and the tourists who can spend here are either rich or expensive, and it is definitely not something that a small manager like him can afford. Besides, a dignified star hotel was actually invaded by a thief, so it should bear all the losses. Fortunately, Wang Lu has the strength to beat the thieves back. If it is just a normal passenger who is stolen by thieves, then the hotel will also compensate for more losses. In contrast, Wang Lu just destroyed 2 walls and then caught the thieves. When this matter spread to the boss, the boss woke up laughing from his dream. "Thank you for helping us catch the thief, you are really a valuable guest of our hotel." After apologizing, the hotel manager continued to nod and bow. Wang Lu is very grateful. Wang Lu shook his head, pointed at the thief and said, "Hurry up and deal with it, it's an eyesore, and also, change a room for me." The hotel manager nodded again and again, and hurriedly followed orders. Not long after, the police arrived and arrested the thief and Apom and Sulub. Outside the hotel. In the night, with a big bald head and burns all over his face, Zhang Feng let out a snort. "Waste. When I took the money, I swore it. In the end, it was useless." Zhang Feng was in a hurry to defeat the monster, and slowly disappeared into the night. Early the next morning, after Wang Lu washed up, he met Mirong Shui in the breakfast room. "Axe you, I'm going back to Xian Yuan, what are you going to do?" Wang Lu asked. Mirong Shui said, "Then I will go back with you." Mirong Shui also plans to participate in this year's Xian Yuan Youth Cup. In another 7 or 8 days, the Xiyuan Youth Cup will officially begin. Mirong Shui originally planned to spend 7 days in the Lingyan Secret Realm and then go back to participate in the Xian Yuan Youth Cup, and the time was right. Result. Yesterday, Wang Lu took her to sweep away all the totems in the Secret Realm. It made her no longer have the slightest interest in Lingyan Secret Realm. Because of this, it is better to go back early and make preparations earlier for participating in the Xian Yuan Youth Cup. Good. Wang Lu nodded. After the two had breakfast and packed their luggage, Wang Lu drove Mirong Shui back to Xian Yuan City in a cool Charizards. Chapter 122. Repair. Seeing that Mirong Shui has no intention of going home, Wang Lu then drove her back to her parents' Tianhu laboratory. Wu. As soon as the two arrived, Dragonite happily greeted Wang Lu like a big dog, and hugged Wang Lu tightly, with a very happy smile on his face. Dragonite is such loyalty and warmth. Not to mention, this Dragonite was raised by Wang Lu from Dratini. The relationship between the two parties is extremely deep. Okay, I'm coming back this time, and I won't be leaving for a while." Feeling Dragonite's attachment to him, Wang Lu smiled and touched its head to appease it. After a while, the primordial pterosaur, Wang Hongguang, and Tian Hui, including some researcher assistants, also greeted them. Hearing that Wang Lu will not leave for the time being and intends to stay and participate in the upcoming Xian Yuan Youth Cup, Tian Hongguang and Tian Hui are immediately happy. They knew that as Wang Lu became stronger and stronger, they would spend less and less time at home in the future. After all, Wang Lu still has a wider stage. If they want to spend more time with their children, they can only take advantage of the present. A group of people came to the built-in garden of the laboratory. See Wang Lu. Mitsumi, Kingler, including the 3 Pinzers, also surrounded them happily. Amazing! These few Pokémon, except for Milotic, were all tamed by Wang Lu yesterday. Unexpectedly, in just one day, they fell in love with Wang Lu so much. Mirong Shui saw this scene and couldn't help admiring it. Mitsumi is very well behaved and very quiet, but these guys are very noisy, and they will fight together every now and then. Tian Hongguang held his forehead and smiled helplessly. Wang Lu nodded upon hearing this. In terms of Mitsumi, she is really well behaved, she likes to be quiet but not to move. Living in this garden, it is very comfortable, except that Wang Lu is not seen, everything is fine. As for Kingler and the 3 Pinzers, there is no doubt that they are all militants. Otherwise, they would not have such a high level as wild Pokémon before. At this time, Wang Lu also secretly decided that if there is an opportunity in the future, he must send them more. As a militant, they definitely want to make a name for themselves in the arena. Wang Lu understands them too well. Salamence, Aiken, Big Red, Electivire, Haxorus, Water Bombs. Everyone come out. At this time, Wang Lu released all Pokémon except Zapdos and Celebi, and had a half-hearted reunion. After all, except that Zapdos and Celebi cannot be easily shown. Now, Moltres and Rapidash are still in the copy of Flame Mountain. There is still a long way to go before the real reunion. Wow, my god! Lu, your Pokémon are really not simple characters. Mihong, and several other researcher assistants looked at Wang Lu's Pokémon and exclaimed suddenly. Flash Salamence, Flash Totem Beedrill. Oh my god, these two Pokémon are definitely a gift from the sky. Even compared to the legendary beasts, I'm afraid they are not far behind. Hey, this big red bird is... My god! No way! Isn't this the legendary fighting Zapdos? My god, my god, my god, Lu, can you even subdue the legendary Pokémon? All the researchers present were frantically shocked. Even Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui were extremely shocked. They knew the existence of Wang Lu's Zapdos and Celebi, but they never expected that Wang Lu would tame another beast so quickly. Son, this fighting Zapdos. Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui couldn't help looking at Wang Lu. But before they finished speaking, Wang Lu seemed to know what they were going to ask, nodded, and said, well, it's called Dahong, and I also tamed it in Lingyun's secret realm. Clang! At this time, Dahong seemed to introduce himself as normal, and yelled at everyone. But its thunderous growl really surprised everyone. Next, almost a full day. Headed by Wang Hongguang and Tian Hui, all the people in this laboratory, all the professors, and all the research assistants all are doing various research for the Pokémon in the mainland. After all, for them, each of Wang Lu's Pokémon, including the most common Dragonite, has enormous research value. Extage. Until now, they still can't believe it. So many precious Pokémon, all belong to Wang Lu alone. This situation did not ease until the next day. The following few days, Wang Lu and all the Pokémon under his command have entered the repair contest condition for a long time, stretching out their hands for food and opening their mouths for a long time. Don't live a happy life. After all, it is difficult for her to find a decent rival, and Wang Lu is her best rival. But Wang Lu only sparred with her twice a day at most, too many to fight. Nido Queen. Attribute, Poison plus Ground. Level 58, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Physical Skills, Surf. Special Attack Skills. Change Skills. It is also worth mentioning that the Surf controlled by Mirong Shui's Nidoqueen is indeed a physical Surf. Wang Lu wanted Blastoise to learn. After all, Blastoise is also better at physical attacks. For Blastoise, physical Surf is definitely more powerful than attacking medium waves. However, in the past few days, Blastoise did not learn the physics Surf, but unexpectedly learned the water system physics big move, water blasting. It's so-so, but it's okay. Actually, Blastoise can learn Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is also a big move of water physics, its power is definitely not inferior to physical Surf and water blasting. However, if you can learn, you can learn. But with Blastoise's short tail, if it can hit the enemy, it's just a joke. Reality is not a turn-based game. This point, Wang Lu sees clearly. Therefore, even if he had the skill machine of Aqua Tail, he did not learn it from Blastoise, because it was not necessary. Good Wang Zhao. Blastoise has already mastered quite a few skills, and it would be very fishy if he practiced the existing skills well. You don't need too many fancy skills at all. After Wang Lu returned home, on the 6th day, Cao Lai also returned in a hurry. Pinsir, Orange Chosen, Level 4-2. Wartortle, Purple Elite, Level 38 Worker. Nidorino, Purple Elite, Level 3-2. Nidorina, Purple Elite, Level 3-2. Golem, Orange Chosen, Level 3-8. Imbor, Purple Elite, Level 3-8. Taking a glance at Cao Lai's lineup, Wang Lu found that Cao Lai's strength increased dramatically accordingly. Although, he can't compare with himself. However, compared with ordinary people, he is already an excellent trainer. Wang Lu smiled with relief, and took out 2 moonstones, making Nidorino and Nidorina both evolve. Nidoking, Orange Day Selection, Level 32 and above. Nidoqueen, Orange Tianxian, B2 Level Worker. Chapter 123. On the 7th day, Cao Lai challenged Zhao Hong'ai in the Immortal Fire Gym. Wang Lu and Mirong Shui also went to watch the battle. 6v6, Cao Lai was defeated, and Zhao Hong'ai won with an extremely slim advantage. Cao Lai. You boy! You have become so much stronger after a trip to the secret realm. In the Immortal Fire Gym, Cao Lai and his fellow apprentices gathered around and instantly messed up Cao Lai's hedgehog hair. Although their tone was a little sour, it was more of a surprise because Cao Lai was happy. Even Zhao Hong'ai was shocked to know. A week ago, let alone Zhao Hong'ai, even many ordinary disciples could easily crush Cao Lai. I didn't expect that Cao Lai would make such rapid progress. Pinsir, Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Golem, Imbor, and Wartortle. These Pokémon are not weak at all. In just 1 week, she fought against Cao Lai, but she could only win with an extremely slim advantage. If the bottom lane develops according to this situation, within a month, she may not be Cao Lai's rival. I didn't expect that this kid Cao Lai is so talented. Zhao Hongai thought to himself. She also felt relieved in her heart. After all, no matter what, Cao Lai was still her junior brother and considered one of her own. She also wished that 023 Cao Lai would grow up quickly and take up the banner of the trainer of the Immortal Fire Gym. In that case, she could go to the outside world to experience it. It was rare to be praised by everyone, and Cao Lai was very happy. But he was self-aware and said, "Actually, it's not that I am strong. If you also have Pokémon like mine, you will be stronger than me. And, thanks to the help of my boss, I was able to conquer all these Pokémon." Finished. Cao Lai was very proud to recommend Wang Lu to everyone. As for Wang Lu, Zhao Hongai knew him naturally without saying much. Many disciples in the gym also know him, or more accurately, they should remember him. After all, when Wang Lu challenged the Immortal Fire Gym, his powerful strength also left a deep impression on the gym disciples present. And now, these gym disciples looked at Wang Lu with admiration. At the same time, I also envied Cao Lai even more. Haha, this kid Cao Lai is lucky to hold such a thigh. The next day, Xianyuan Youth Cup officially opened. Wang Lu and Mirong Shui entered the exhibition as exhibitors. Wang Hongguang, Eek, Tian Hui, Zhao Hongai, and Cao Lai sat in the audience to watch the game as their supporters. This year compared to last year, the entry threshold for the Xianyuan Youth Cup has undoubtedly been greatly increased. I still remember that last year's Xianyuan Youth Cup had almost no threshold. The only threshold is the age limit. As long as you are between 16 and 24 years old. It doesn't even matter whether you are from Xianyuan City or not. If you are from outside the city, you can participate if you want to. Last year, there were 100,000 trainers participating in the Xianyuan Youth Cup. Zhao Hongai and Cao Lai also participated in last year's Xianyuan Youth Cup. Zhao Hongai even successfully entered the so-called top 64. He had never mentioned Cao Lai's words, and he probably just thought of them as a tourist item. Last year's Xianyuan Youth Cup was actually a huge failure. Because the threshold is too low, the competition schedule is too long, and the strength of each player is uneven, it has been wildly ridiculed by various self-media, saying that this is a low-level event without any gold content. This year, the entry threshold for the Xianyuan Youth Cup has been greatly raised. You need at least 2 badges from the southern region to participate in the competition. There are about 100,000 young trainers in Xianyuan City. However, among them, the number of elite trainers who can actually obtain 2 badges is only 1/10, or only 10,000 people. Zhao Hongai and Cao Lai, especially Zhao Hongai, were originally capable of participating in the competition. However, this year, the threshold suddenly increased, and she had no time to prepare, so she had no choice but to give up. It's pretty good to sit here and enjoy the game now. Because the Xianyuan Youth Cup is a large-scale event in Xianyuan City and is extremely popular. Not only did they catch all the trainers in the city, but also the trainers from outside, those who could compete and those who couldn't, came to watch the competition happily. In the past few days, almost no one has challenged the Immortal Fire Gym. Because of this, Zhao Hongai could take the opportunity to rest for a few days. She was extremely satisfied. No doubt. In this world, the status of gym trainers is too low and it is too hard. If one day, Wang Lu also becomes the gym leader, he must set up a few more gym trainers and let them take turns to rest and go out to practice. Xianyuan Youth Cup, the first knockout round, the first game, started soon. A total of 100 people took part in the competition, and each person could only send out 1 Pokémon. Mega Melee. Beijinji, the last 10 trainers, advanced to the next round. Go, Doran Barto. Mirong Shui played directly in the first game and directly sent out the strongest trump card. Damn. Quasi God. Let's beat it up together. Knock it down first, then we will all have more chances to advance. That makes sense. +1. 666, so dirty, but I like it. At this moment, Mirang Xue's beauty has no effect at all. After all, everyone is participating in a competition and of course they want to achieve some results. At the very least, it can't be a round trip, right? Everyone thought so, and all of a sudden, the other 99 Pokémon all headed towards the multi-dragon Bart beat up. Unfortunately, most of these Pokémon are only at the elite level. Compared with the multi-dragon Barto, the gap is really too big. Duolong Bart immediately killed everyone in the field with one twister. Right. Kill everyone in one move. Among 100 contestants, Mirang Xue advanced to the next round alone. What the hell? Damn it, who made that comment just now? I really believed your lies. Yes. If I had known earlier, I should have asked Sandslash to dig a hole in the ground and hide. That's it. Which piece of shit made the comment just now? Get out. Brothers, it's not me. It was my eldest brother who said that just now. He is my twin brother and he looks exactly like me. You all admitted your mistake, please don't slap me in the face, okay? All other 99 contestants were eliminated. While desperate, it is also extremely rage. At the same time, the audience seat was also in a state of excitement. Mirang Xue, the daughter of Mirang Hai, the elite of the Southern Territory, her strength is so powerful. In a competition where 100 makes 10, she actually advanced alone. Last year, player Mirang Xue won the top 8 in the Xianyuan Youth Cup. After a year, she has obviously become stronger. I believe that this year, she will be aiming for the championship of our Xianyuan Youth Cup. The host obviously knew Mirang Xue and started shouting crazily. It made countless spectators at the scene scream again and again. At this moment, the powerful strength shown by Mirang Xue really made people want to support him. Chapter 124. This year, my goal is to win the Youth Cup. At the end of the game, Mirang Xue returned to the auditorium. On the way, hearing the words of the host, including the shouts of countless audiences, Mirang Xue could only smile wryly. If Wang Lu does not participate this year, she will indeed set such a goal. But just because of the existence of Wang Lu, champion? She can't even think about it. Salamence, Aken, Big Red. Each is a powerful enemy that she does not want to face. Next, the second soil. Unexpectedly, only one person advanced. And that person, Wang Lu, Mirang Xue, Zhao Hongii, Cao Lai, they all know each other, it is Lei Jian. Did not expect. He's coming to the game too. Lei Jian, the grandson of Lei Lao elite in the southern region. This year, Lei Jian participated in our Xianyuan Youth Cup for the first time, and he directly showed his overwhelming strength. Awesome, the quality of this year's contestants is too high. Everyone, let us pay attention to what powerful players will emerge in the first round of the competition. The host fanned the flames, and the scene boiled instantly. When Wang Lu came on, sent the golden big. Like Mirang Xue's Duolong Barchuo, and Lei Jian's Lei Pokémon. Wang Lu's pincer also suffered from everyone's beat up. The result is the same. Pincer easily killed 99 Pokémon in seconds. Wang Lu successfully advanced to the next round. Oh my god, this player Wang Lu actually owns a Flash Pokémon, a golden pincer. His strength is also very strong. The host obviously doesn't know Wang Lu, and just commented on Salation. People like Wang Lu, Mirang Xue and Fu Jian took the lead. Some powerful trainers will try their best to defeat more enemies in the first round of competition. When all the matches in the first round were finished, there were only 896 contestants who successfully advanced to the next round. There are more than 100 people less than expected. In the second round, 14-1. A total of 64 games, 64 strong players will be determined, and the cloud will be established. Finally, the day is over. Wang Lu, Mirang Xue and Lei Jian all advanced smoothly. Last year, Zhao Hongii also advanced at this time, but they played a whole round more than this year. Last year, it was just the preliminaries, and it took several days. After all, last year's contestants had a full army of 100,000. The next day, at the beginning of the race, all 64 contestants appeared on the stage. The big screen rollout starts to randomly distribute rivals and decide the order of the game. And Wang Lu's rival is a social youth named Eagle. Eagle is obviously just a nickname, but it is indeed his registered name. As time passed, the first round of the main match ended 1-1, and soon it was Wang Lu's turn to play against the Eagles. Eagle is 23, close to 24, he sees that Wang Lu is young, he can't help laughing, "Boy, it's unlucky for you to meet me, go, Nidoking." From the start of the race, it was 3v3. The first Pokémon sent by the Eagle is Nidoking. Nidoking. Attribute, Poison plus Ground. Level 55, Elite. Qualification, Orange. Good qualifications, but the level is a bit too low. Glancing at the Nidoking's attribute panel, Wang Lu smiled slightly, and directly sent Dragonite to play. Ouch! As soon as Dragonite came out, he landed firmly on Wang Lu's arena, raised his head and shouted. In the last game, Dragonite was very excited. Because Wang Lu hasn't sent it to fight for a long time, now that it has this opportunity, it must perform well. Oh, Dragonite! Player Wang Lu actually owns Dragonite! The host exclaimed, causing the Eagle to instantly smelling salts. There were too many contestants yesterday, and there were too many powerful players. The Eagles didn't pay too much attention to Wang Lu. He didn't know until now that Wang Lu was not Normal's trainer. No, none of the trainers who have Quasi-God Dragonite will be ordinary characters. Humph, what about Dragonite? My Nidoking is just as strong. The Eagle snorted coldly, boosted his confidence, and immediately shouted, "Come on, Nidoking, use the freezing punch." As soon as the words fell, Nidoking rushed towards Dragonite, the cold air condensed on the front of the fist, and with a freezing fist, Nidoking blasted towards the Dragonite on the opposite side. "Block it, use Vital Throw." Wang Lu gave an order, and Dragonite crossed his arms to directly block the attack, then turned around and smashed down Nidoking hard. Eagle, the host, including countless audiences, were all shocked to find out. In the hands of Dragonite, the extremely tall and strong Nidoking is as light as nothing. How terrifying is the power of that Dragonite! Bang! With a loud bang, Nidoking was slammed to the ground and passed out completely. Second kill. It's unbelievable that Wang Lu's Dragonite actually beat Eagle's Nidoking in one move. Is this the mighty power of a quasi-god? Host, exclaimed loudly. At the same time, the scene was boiling. Including yesterday, Wang Lu demonstrated his strength one after another, making more and more audiences remember him. Wang Lu's strength has become stronger again. In the auditorium, Zhao Hongyi took a deep look at Wang Lu and sighed. The Nidoking on the opposite side is obviously very strong, but Dragonite can kill him instantly. I still remember that Wang Lu's Dragonite, a freshman at Xianyuan University, started from Dratini and evolved into Dragonair and Dragonite all the way. But at that time, Zhao Hongyi remembered very clearly that Dragonite definitely did not show such strong strength as it is today. But how long has it been? Just over a week. Wang Lu, this person, what a god-defying trainer talent does he have? 0. Hongyi, you haven't been to our laboratory these days, have you? If you had, you shouldn't be so surprised. Tian Hui smiled mysteriously. Cao Lai also laughed beside him and said, "Yes, Sister Hongyi, the strength of my boss must have surpassed your imagination." Is it? After Tian Hui, Cao Lai deliberately whetted his appetite, and Zhao Hongyi became more and more looking forward to it. She would like to see how Wang Lu's strength will undergo earth-shaking changes in just over a week. Damn it, come back, Nidoking. The Eagle took Nidoking back with an ugly expression. Also, sends out his second Pokémon, Glally. Glally. Attribute, Ice. Level 48, Elite. Qualification Purple. Glancing at Glally's attribute panel, Wang Lu laughed and shook his head. It is clear. This Glally is weaker than the previous Nidoking, and much weaker. However, the Eagles don't think so. After all, Glally has an advantage over attribute anyway. The Eagle gave an order, "Come on, Glally, use Blizzard." As soon as the words fell, Glally immediately blew a powerful blizzard and threw it towards Dragonite. Regarding the attack of the Eagle and Glally, Wang Lu just smiled and ordered lightly, "Dragonite, use Hurricane to fight back." Heard the words. Dragonite has small wings, but it flaps out an incomparably huge hurricane. In an instant, Blizzard was rooted and Glally was sent flying. With a bang, Glali landed heavily and fell into a coma. Chapter 125. Glali has lost the ability to fight. The referee announced the result. Instant kill, another instant kill, player Wang Lu's Dragonite is too powerful. Host exclaimed, causing the scene to boil instantly. Damn, this guy is so awesome. The person involved, Ying Ying, looked ugly. Why did he finally advance to the main draw and have to face such a powerful rival in the first game? But at this point, it was useless for him to complain. Under the urging of the referee's eyes, he immediately sent out the last Charizard. Charizard. Attribute Fire plus Flying. Level 62, Master. Qualification, Orange. No doubt. This Charizard is Eagle's trump card, and its level is much higher than the previous two Pokémon. Unfortunately, facing Dragonite, its attribute is quite 0-0 unfavorable. Not to mention, its hard power is inferior to Dragonite every day. Dragonite, Golden Epic, level 73 Quasi-Elite. The Eagle commanded, Charizard, Flamethrower. As soon as he finished speaking, Charizard rose into the air, opened his mouth and spit out a green dragon breath, blasting towards Dragonite fiercely. To know. As a dragon-type Pokémon, Dragonite is quite resistant to fire. Charizard's best fire attack may have no effect on it at all. However, the dragon killing and dragon-type special moves are more effective for Dragonite. Therefore, Eagle ordered Charizard to use Dragon Breath to attack Dragonite, which was a wise choice. Unfortunately, Wang Lu was not moved at all and shouted directly, Dragonite, use Hydro Pump to fight back. Heard the words. Dragonite immediately opened its mouth and spit out a high-pressure Hydro Pump, which collided with Charizard's Dragon Breath. These two skills, one large and one small, have a gap that is visible to the naked eye. Dragonite's Hydro Pump was obviously more powerful. It defeated Charizard's Dragon Breath in an instant, and then hit Charizard's stomach hard. Charizard howled miserably, fell from mid-air, and fell heavily to the ground, completely unconscious. Charizard loses the ability to fight. Competition is over. Winner, contestant Wang Lu. The referee raised the red flag and announced the result directly. Another instant kill. What a strong Dragonite. A powerful one. Penetration 3. Have you noticed a detail? Player Wang Lu's Dragonite did not move even half a step from beginning to end. He easily defeated rival just by standing there. This is enough to show that the strength of this Dragonite has not been fully demonstrated yet. The host held the microphone and said in a surprised tone. The audience seat was filled with excitement instantly. Wang Lu and Dragonite, their strong strength instantly won the support of countless audiences. Okay, let's congratulate player Wang Lu for successfully advancing to the next round. At the same time, we also hope that he will bring us bigger surprises in the next round. With the host's compliments and the cheers of countless spectators at the scene, Wang Lu slowly walked off the field. At the same time, the Eagle sadly left the field, to make room for the next contestants. As the games continued one game after another, the top 32 of the Xian Yuan Youth Cup were successfully released. The big screen continues to roll out, and the next game rival and the order of the games are randomly determined. Number 15 Wang Lu, number 16 Thunder Sword. Did not expect. This time, Wang Lu and Lei Jian met so quickly. In the corner of the auditorium, Lei Jian stared coldly at the big screen. In this competition, I don't care whether I win or not. But, Wang Lu, I want to know how big the gap is between you and me now. During these 2 weeks, he was not idle. Although he did not go to Lingyun's secret realm, he went to a certain ruins to practice hard for a period of time, and gained a lot. First of all, his trump card Pokémon finally broke through to the Quasi-Elite level. To know. His Thunder Pokémon is a Flash Pokémon, and its talents, qualifications, and bloodline strength are comparable to those of some excellent Quasi-Gods. Not to mention, he can also make rich Pokémon perform Mega Evolution. Now, the Thunder Pokémon's level breakthrough has definitely taken his strength to a higher level. As each game continues. At this time, it was finally Wang Lu and Lei Jian's turn to play. Wow, a showdown between the strong. Wang Lu and Lei Jian, they are undoubtedly the favorites to win this competition. What a pity. Their luck is really bad. I didn't expect that they would meet so soon before the top 8. Then, there is only one winner. Between the two of them, who can advance smoothly? Please wait and see. After the host said a few words, the scene instantly boiled. The strong men met in advance, which made the audience extremely excited. No matter who the winner is, at least, they can enjoy an evenly matched, well-matched, and exciting game. Next is the elimination promotion match between Wang Lu and Thunder Sword players. The competition rules are 3v3. Midway, each player has the right to freely change Pokémon once and only once. Then, please take your positions, with player Wang Lu attacking first. Go, Blastoise! As soon as the referee finished speaking, Wang Lu immediately sent out his first Pokémon. When Blastoise appeared, the scene was instantly shocked. You know, Blastoise, as the third royal family, is already a very powerful existence among ordinary Pokémon. That totem Blastoise is even more terrifying. Its bloodline strength is even stronger than that of the excellent Quasi-God. Blastoise. Its totem Blastoise. After Flash Pinsir and Dragonite, player Wang Lu actually sent out totem Blastoise. Oh my god, are all his lineups filled with rare Pokémon? Host, exclaimed. Then he added, but facing the Thunder Sword player, Wang Lu sent Blastoise to the field. Is it a bit too much? You know, the magic 5.1 Pokémon that Thunder Sword player is best at is the electric-type Pokémon. Ignoring the host's noise and the hustle and bustle of the scene, Wang Lu looked at Jiwan opposite and smiled lightly. Jiwan, let me see if your strength has improved after such a period of time. Haha, you know that I am best at using electric Pokémon, but you sent Blastoise to take the lead. Wang Lu, tell me what I can say to you. However, the person I am now is no longer the person I was before. Go ahead, naughty bullet. Thunder Sword also sent out the first Pokémon. Blastoise, Golden Epic, level 65 Gym Owner. Naughty Bullet, Golden Epic, level 65 Gym Leader. Blastoise, Iron Defense. Wang Lu attacked first and directly strengthened the defense. A flash of Orberg-like light flashed across Blastoise's body, causing its physical defense to increase in magnitude.